officers.
Let's cross over to Baringa to sad news though, where in the quiet hills of Poror village in Eldama Ravine, Baringa County, a sense of grief is evident as 3 families buried their loved ones in the same month. Even more disturbing is that the deceased succumbed to alcohol poisoning after consuming illicit brew.
The crisis in this little-known village in Eldama Ravine is no longer whispered about in corners. Its effects can be seen and felt as yet another grave has been dug, telling the painful story of a destructive grip of addiction and illicit brew. At the home of Kaisanki Rui, relatives gather, preparing to bury 27-year-old Kelvin Lagat. Just 5 days ago, Kelvin had shared a drink with friends in the village where cheap, unregulated alcohol is easily accessible.
Pombe imeathiri watoto wetu, tumezika wengi. Hata juzi tukasika ndugu ya baba ya nyumba ng'ambo hiyo ingine. Kuna neighbor kijana yake aliaga, amezikwa kwa sababu ya hiyo pombe.
After consuming the brew, he began vomiting blood before he collapsed and died. His death is not an isolated tragedy. It is part of a troubling pattern that residents say has become alarmingly common.
Nilikuwa naomba Bwana OCBD kwa sababu wewe kweli ni ofisa wa serikali, following the presidential directive yenye mumepewa, use your powers, clear these things.
In a neighboring homestead lies the freshly dug grave of Justice Kipto, a father of 8. His family believes he consumed substance laced with ethanol.
Hii pombe inakuanga inauswa kwa barabara kama take away. Wewe unakutana na pombe, huwezi jua mwenye anauza anaendanga na boda boda.
While some have lost their lives, others like Mark Chumba are living with the devastating long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
Unajua unapokunywa hii kitu, si ati ni maziwa unakunywa. Na inaendelea, kasi unakunywa, inaendelea kupanda juu kwa kichwa.
Residents are demanding tougher action from Koibatek Sub-County Security Team to end the menace.
Iko kijana alikuwa anaongea hapa, alikuwa anasema anaenda kuandika petition, apeleke parliament so that chiefs can have prosecutorial powers. My friend, wachana hiyo kwanza. Anza na petition ya kubadilisha sheria ya chang'aa ikiwe serious crime.
And residents from Isulu and Bushangala in Ikolomani constituency, Kakamega County, are demanding fair compensation, transparency, and meaningful inclusion by government on the extraction of gold. They also want clear structures showing how revenues allocated to the county government and the community will be utilized.
In Isulu and Bushangala villages in Ikolomani, Kakamega County, artisanal miners are busy mining gold in small scale. Their usual routine, however, will soon be disrupted with the government's plan to expand gold extraction on a larger scale, having partnered with a private gold mining company.
Kazi kama hii inafanyika hapa, hao wenye wanafanya wapati kitu sana, lakini yenye inaenda hapo chini ikitoka ikiwe leaching ndio pesa iko.
Miners wapewe pia wahamasishwe, waambiwe hakuna kuvurutana katika hii biashara.
As anticipation builds towards the start of the project, residents want the government to prioritize fair compensation, transparency, and meaningful inclusion in the venture.
Tunajua kutakuwa na relocation, but it has to be minimal relocation na ikuwe structured, and our people should be compensated well kulingana na rates zile ziko.
Watakompensate wa baba kwa sababu ya title deed zao, lakini naomba pia serikali tuangalie sisi kama wamama, wakati watakuwa na compensate pia wajue sisi wamama tuna kazi zetu za kufanya.
Further, they called for clarification on the environmental, health and social impact.
Hata wengine tunatamani tulale juu ya miti. Juu sasa vita imekuwa mingi. CS wa mining akuje atuambie map inafika wapi. Sisi hatupingi kampuni, tunataka kampuni kuja, hata ingekuja jana.
County tuna encourage walete technology mpya ya kumine bila kusukuma watu kwa mashamba zao, because mashamba hayako kuna mashamba wapi Kenya hii, mashamba yako limited.
The residents also want a clear structure on revenue allocation to the county and the community, as well as technical training opportunities.
It will be very good because now the increment of the royalty in terms of money, tutakuwa tumepata pesa nzuri yenye itasaidia watu wetu.
Watoto wetu hawana kazi na pesa iko hapa chini. Tunakalia hiyo pesa ifanye kazi gani? Nani atakuja kula hiyo pesa? Na hakuna mtu mwingine anaweza kuifikia.
Disability does not have to mean inability. In Nakuru County, one woman is redefining what it means to live with disability by using resilience, skill and determination to earn a living against all odds. Our reporter Aaron Marie brings us the story of Gladys Njeri, a blind and hearing impaired knitter from Gilgil who is weaving hope one thread at a time.
In Langalanga village, Gilgil, Nakuru County, a familiar sound cuts through the resilience, the steady hum of knitting machine. Born a normal child, Gladys' life took a sudden turn in 2002 when she lost her sight.
Huwa ninatumia machine kusikia na macho sioni hata kidogo.
Later, she also experienced hearing challenges and today relies on a hearing aid to communicate with the world around her.
Nachukua uzi, ninaweka, ninashona, sote nikimaliza, mimi mwenyewe ndio hujiunganishia.
But where many saw limitation, Gladys saw possibility. After losing her sight, Gladys joined a rehabilitation facility where she learned knitting skills.
After that, nilishona miaka miwili, nikamaliza, alafu nikarudi nikaenda tena Irene Training Center. Hiyo iko Meru.
There, she was given an opportunity with a knitting machine that would redefine her life. Using touch, memory, and determination, Gladys weaves threads into sweaters and fabrics. Each piece tells a story of resilience. Living alone, she finds for herself, fetching her daily needs and running her small business independently.
Ni mtoto wa kujifanyia kazi. Na si mtu wa kuombaomba. Juu hata tangu nimjue mimi sijaisikia akiomba.
Yet, the journey has not been easy.
Mtu anaweza akaingia akuje, aniambia nataka sweta. Mimi namwambia kama ni 400, ananipatia 100. Unaona, anaenda. Mimi kutinda kutukia tu hivi najikuta niko na 200 watu wangu.
Beyond stigma, changing times have also worked against her. The knitting industry has evolved, and the traditional sweaters she makes are now in low demand.
Kama hizi hazina watu hawanunui, niko na nyingi. Watu wanataka hizo zingine za uzi kidogo, nyuzi kidogo.
Still, her spirit remains unbroken.
Sisi walemavu huwa tuna kipawa nyingi. Hata kama mtu utaona hataweza kusoma, anaweza kuwa na kitu kingine anaweza kufanya maishani mwake.
Gladys dreams of acquiring advanced knitting tools, machines that can improve quality, increase production, and help her compete in today's market.
Kwa miaka hiyo yote 22 ambayo nimekuwa nikishona na hii machine, ilikuwa inanisaidia kulipa nyumba, kununua chakula, hata mavazi, na hata kununua betri za masikio. Ningeomba tu mkinisaidia, mimi ni mtu huwa anajua kujifanyia kazi, huwa ninajituma.
Her story is a reminder that disability is not inability. With support, dignity, and inclusion, persons living with disabilities can thrive.
Na pia wazazi wachukue jukumu ya kutoa watoto wao wenye wako na ulemavu, ndiposa wa create awareness ili watu wote wawe wakitoa watoto wao ndio wapate kusaidiwa na pia wajisaidie wao wenyewe.
For Gladys, disability is not inability. She's pushing for her dreams one day at a time. Reporting from Langalanga, Nakuru County for KBC Channel 1, I'm Aaron Marie.
Thank you, Aaron Marie, for highlighting that story that disability is not inability. It just needs to be supported. Now, let's look at sports, where Kenya's national rugby sevens team Shujaa finished third in the HSBC Sevens Division 2 Nairobi series, which concluded on Sunday at the Nyayo National Stadium. In the women's category, the Kenya Lionesses placed fifth after managing just one win in the tournament. Focus now shifts to the next leg of the series in South America next month.
The HSBC Sevens 2 Nairobi culminated in style at the Nyayo National Stadium, bringing together 6 men's and 6 women's teams. Kenya's men's sevens team Shujaa produced commanding victories in the contest, registering wins against Canada, Belgium and Germany on Saturday before clinching a win against Uruguay today. However, Shujaa lost 21-5 in their final match that saw Germany top the points table at the end of this leg, with the USA second and Shujaa third.
Yes, we'd have loved to win this and give the fans something at home, but we know it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We have 2 more tournaments, and I believe the boys will pick up the pace.
We didn't expect to win here, unfortunately. We can be really happy about the US boys win over Kenya, and yeah, now we are first, and we are really happy about this.
The women's team, the Kenya Lionesses, finished 5th after a 5-0 loss to leg winners Argentina in a 5-14 defeat against Spain.
Most of the games, if you look at them, if you just remove one mistake try, then we are back in the game. So I think for us is just cleaning up those areas and making sure we don't repeat the same mistakes again.
For us was to play our best rugby, which I think we've demonstrated, and leave Argentina on the best spot that we could have done, and that was what we did today and the whole tournament.
Attention now shifts to the next round of the competition, which will be held in Uruguay and Brazil next month.
We've come to the end of the news this morning. As always, thank you very much for your time and your company. My name is Marie Yambo. Of course, Good Morning Kenya still continues, and my colleague Victor Olo is on standby. Have a great day.
The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC, has been named among the top 10 best parastatals in Kenya 2026 in a survey conducted by the Kenya Track Survey. This recognition celebrates state corporations that are transforming lives through effective service delivery, and KBC is proud to be among them. For decades, KBC has remained Kenya's trusted public broadcaster, delivering reliable, accurate, and trustworthy information to citizens across the country. From public communication and civic education to emergency messaging when it matters most, KBC continues to serve the nation with responsibility and integrity. We have expanded local content and indigenous language programming, promoting culture, unity, and national cohesion. We are also embracing the future through digital transformation with online TV, radio streaming, and active social media platforms, bringing KBC closer to you anytime, anywhere. To our loyal viewers and listeners, we say, KBC, informing the nation, connecting Kenya.
Hii ni wewe. Can you give me 360? Ulikuwa unakaa clown.
Mimi nilikuwa nakaa hivyo.
Watu nachesianga na watoto hivi.
Mimi nataka urudi sehemu yako ya kupika chapati.
Obarikiwe na osanga mpaka biashara yako.
Hajabo bwana. Hapa jikani mzuri. Kama
kuna inji aina hizi.
Somalia hakuna.
Ni kwa sababu ya diangati.
Nisente.
Mukai.
Uniform iko? Nilifika mtaa jo nikapata mama ameyoyoma serious manze, ikabidi nijitume na hiyo maziwa pande ya osi.
Nini na kusumbua ni macho hauna? Kuna zile wewe. Kwa nini unaweza kijua la wewe?
After I sign my resignation, I'll go straight to the station. If you guys ever see her again at the hotel, give it back to her.
Why bother? Say hi. This is my daughter. This is my dance club.
Why did you change your mind?
Sir, we're really sorry.
I'm talking to Philip. Stop butting in.
That's enough out of you. Tell us now. Why'd you decide to stay? Don't talk like sunshine. Why this, why that? Come on, fess up.
All right, and welcome back. It's now time for us to talk politics. 10 minutes past 7 a.m. Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Kenya. This brilliant Monday morning, 16th day of February. Dr. Evelyn Ogendo, please just tell us how your Valentine's was.
I would say it was lovely.
Oh, good.
I enjoyed every bit of it. And what else can I say? I'm here. I expected maybe you would call me over and maybe have a flower.
Oh.
We really value these flowers, and then...
You just did bust my bubble right on air.
But I also got a bit uncomfortable by the Russian man. I felt it was quite below the belt. And I learned a few things that...
It's debatable, though.
No, we know we need to work on so much, especially as women. And also as an African man needs to work also to stand up for the woman, for their own women.
Okay.
And then also on Sifuna, I didn't like the war. I didn't like the riots.
Yeah.
Because I saw people losing property, I saw people getting hurt. So that was not a bit interesting from Kitengela.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Victor.
We've not met this year, and good to see you.
Good to see you.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Next to her is Gilbert Tawino. Gilbert, ichio na de baba. Okay, Gilbert is a strategic communications expert. He's also a lawyer. Good to see you, my brother. You well?
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's a new year. I don't know what has been quite, significant for you so far. Some key highlights. Beginning of the year, January until now, we are mid-February.
Yeah. When we were here last, we said that mti mkuu ukianguka ndege huwa mashakani.
Yes.
Now we have started seeing that the birds are all scattered in the air, and they do not know exactly where should they land next. The death of Raila Odinga basically has brought the smithereens of characters we are seeing and political alliance that we are seeing, political affiliations that we are seeing that are yet to settle. And it is going to, the division, the nucleus is going to continue dividing as it goes towards settling in the future. So what we are seeing in the political set is just the beginning of what will ultimately crystallize into what it should at the right time. Certainly, the man in State House is keenly watching because, he's a political schemer who never sleeps. But certainly when he's not in the control of things, he misses the sleep completely. So you are going to see a lot of efforts to try and have everything in control from that perspective.
That is actually based on what's on the front page of our local dailies. Let me start with the Standard and, of course, the Daily Nation. No, the Standard has it here. Sifuna rose. That is also on the front page of the Daily Nation. The Standard, I beg your pardon. That's the Standard. Sifuna rose. This is the first time we're seeing such kind of a headline about Sifuna. Like Sherry. This is the first time we are seeing this about Sifuna.
Maybe I would say I want to say something about Sifuna that is a bit on a perception that maybe Kenyans did not get to know about him. And there's this English saying, show me your friends, I tell you you are. In psychology, within three months, that's why we tell young people, whoever, we tell peers that check your inner circle. Chances are that you are likely to become like the person who is operating from your inner circle for at least 3 months. So look at Honorable Sifuna. He has been with the late Honorable Raila for more than 10 years. So, you know, like me, when I've grown up to the political space, I did not see Honorable Raila without Sifuna. When I saw Raila, I saw Sifuna. You see, this is a mzee that has died, that has left the Kenyans. You know, okay, nobody's, I wouldn't say there's death that you would say is timely. It was so untimely, and Honorable Raila was occupying a very big space. How about, this is a Baba, this is Honorable Raila in a Sifuna body? Because this is somebody he has been with for more than 10 years. You know, there's a way, when I look at the politics of Baba, when he believes about an idea, he steps out and supports it and doesn't care about what your opinion would be or what your position is. He's somebody who was convinced. So sometimes I want to understand where Sifuna is coming from. And I also want to understand where Honorable Oburu is coming from, because Oburu did not anticipate that he's going to be a party leader for a very strong party like ODM. In his wildest dream, he didn't anticipate. And you
why?
see,
Because there are structures in the party, and
there are structures in the party, and my brother is at the front stage, is front space, and you see, I think everybody has a place to play in the political space. So he didn't know that that he was going to be in the particular political space that he is in. You have to remember this also, and it's like a paradigm shift. It's like a paradigm shift, and then him, I would say, Sifuna knows so much about ODM because he was with Raila. I'm not saying Honorable Oburu doesn't know. He knows, but he looks at Sifuna as his young, as his son, and the same way Baba looked at Sifuna. You know, I would say, for lack of a better word, he was Raila's spanner boy. So Honorable Oburu expects Sifuna to behave in a certain way. Sifuna is, and then Sifuna himself is his own person. So there's that, what would I say, differing in opinion. And also the mindset of the old and young, they come to play. Those ones of, you know, I'm sure Honorable Sifuna looks at Honorable Oburu, and he has no choice but to keep on comparing him from the speaking, from the way he makes decisions, because he was used to a certain way for more than 10 years. I am not for or against him, but what I'm saying is just an analysis of his journey. And you see, Oburu could see Sifuna differently. Sifuna could see Oburu differently. And the entire public could see Sifuna differently, him being the Senator of Nairobi, a very strong city like Nairobi. You see, in the way Sifuna also, there's a way he also sees himself. And now these things are crashing, that only if they are willing to have some dialogue, because I think when you're agreeing into dialogue, does not mean that you are defeated. It means that you really respect the late, and you really want to bring peace to what he believed in. He believed in peace. He believed in, you don't have to win for there to be peace. You don't have to win. I believe that is what Baba believed in. You don't need to win to, you don't have to be right to win. You can be wrong, but win. So who is willing to let that go?
Who is willing to let go?
Yeah, who is willing to let go?
Francis Kaviu is the minority leader, Machakos County Assembly. Mheshimiwa, good to see you.
Thank you, Victor.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
You know, the one funny thing is that he's from Ukambani. You're not giving us mangoes here.
Maybe they're in the car.
It's the season.
Maybe after this, he can give us the mangoes.
Let him speak for himself.
Okay.
Do you have some in the car? You see?
I can make a call.
Just make a call.
Can make a
call. We need to be friends. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me come back to you. Gilbert, now when you sing this, okay, You know, again, I come back to the front page of the Daily, the Standard. I mean, this is not, nobody ever expected that Sifuna would take a front page of this. With this magnitude, of course, nobody expected this to happen. But, be as it may, the faction in ODM, probably somebody can say is, I don't know whether it was something that was about to happen, but that it was only Raila Odinga who was trying to make things calm. Is it a real manifestation of the wrangles which were deeply rooted in ODM even before Raila died? Or is it a position of where now everybody for him or herself but God and the ballot box is for us, for all of us?
It could be a fair mix of both, in the sense that the people who have been around Raila were around Raila not because they loved Raila, but they knew the consequences of not being in Raila's camps, particularly in ODM strongholds. They never really actually, if they could achieve their goals, minus Raila, they could as well do without Raila. A few of them had tried to bolt from Raila. They saw the consequences and came back. Even in Dagoretti, where Elachi comes from. The reason why politicians such as that have stuck with Raila is because of the consequences of being a candidate in areas where Raila was absolutely loved. Now, if you look at Raila was the institution itself. ODM party was the institution that was held by Raila as my property, but also as the institution represented solely by Raila Amolo Odinga. And that is why, as Daxtari says, the death of Raila was not expected by anyone. To most Kenyans, particularly to most supporters, Raila was bigger than life. Raila could never die. In fact, there are people who cannot come to terms with the fact that Raila has died. So they are willing to cling on to any narrative that something else must have brought a sad end to this gentleman's life. And therefore, such people would give them hope. Now, when you come to the question of Sifuna, he calls himself the Sifuna. He doesn't just say, I am Sifuna. He says, Mimi ndiye Sifuna. What he's particularizing himself as the equivalent of a Baba, because Baba, when we said Baba, there are many Babas. When we say Baba, people knew this is the Baba. If we say Rao, people knew. He had a particular brand that was only attributable to him.
I see.
Sifuna has basically taken that particular trajectory. I would want to be a little fair to him in the sense that he has done good and is doing good for himself, in the sense that everybody is talking about him for or against. I watched in Kitengela, there was a bit of chaos. But it was Sifuna was doing what Raila used to say, Vijana, kaini hapo. He says, can you calm down? And you could see a little response, actually a favorable response to what he was doing. You know, there is a writer, Shaban Robert, who said, and Wetangula likes regurgitating that line, that jamii uficha mashujaa wake hadi janga kuu linapotokea. So the janga lililotokea is Raila Odinga's death, and you are going to see the kind of heroes that were actually hiding, but could not be seen because Raila was basically present there. So we are going to see a lot, as I said earlier, that we are going to see a lot of people trying to jostle and just have their space, because Raila as a candidate, but also as a party leader, had a certain uniqueness that was, everybody revered him in his own sense, because they knew that tomorrow Raila is here, tomorrow it could be a different position. But for the gentleman who did not anticipate that he was going to take ODM to the next phase, that is his brother, currently even him is also just trying to deal with a lot of things. I am the boss here, should I be my brother? Because you can see he's trying very much to be like his brother. He's not carving his own identity. I saw him in Mombasa trying to sing what Raila used to sing, and in such a lackluster spirit. And I felt sorry for him, but I wish he just, you know, became his own man. Raila is gone, now take us to the next stage so that you can represent hope. And that's where Sifuna comes back again, because he seems to represent hope. Kenyans want someone who can show them that at least there is a next better stage ahead.
There's continuity.
Yes, so when you just play it there like, you know, we are so stuck in there, he ends up actually losing a lot of supporters for the party itself.
Francis, good morning, once again. Now, just an analysis. Raila's name is not leaving the stage. 4 months after his demise, we are still talking about Raila Odinga as we speak. I mean, just imagine that.
Yeah, I think, Victor, last time when we were here, we had a conversation that 2027 elections, Raila will influence elections from the grave. And that is what is happening. But what happened yesterday in Kitengela is a response to what people have been yearning for. Because you remember when the Gen Z came out, they were leaderless, faceless, but they had an agenda. So the people you saw in Kitengela, it is the same people who are responding to that call. And now it's going to be bigger because they have people who are fearless, who are bold enough, and they are willing to take the front. So what Sifuna is saying, the reason why he has been gaining each day is because the thing that he's talking, the thing that he's saying are resonating very well with Kenyans. Because despite the fact that the government will want to create an illusion that all is well, we are doing fine as a country, yet it is not the case. So Sifuna is speaking the language of the common mwananchi. Sifuna is speaking for them. And that's why you saw everybody, they were responding with a caption that, "Sisi ndio Sifuna." So in short, what they were saying is that what Sifuna is saying, and the likes of Babu and the people in the Linda Mwananchi brigade, they are saying that whatever these guys are saying, that is the real thing on the ground. But the government seems to continue burying its head on the sand, but it's just a matter of time. And it's quite unfortunate because we are in February 2026 with a year plus to the general election. So things are a little bit getting hotter at a very early stage. But it is the current economic situation that is pushing Kenyans to react in a certain way.
All right.
Yeah.
When you look at the whole of this, Dr. I mean, look at even the way it has been packaged, because now, I don't know if it's by coincidence, but in politics there's nothing like coincidence. It's well planned. That one team is in Tononoka, and we know the history of Tononoka and Mombasa and ODM. We all know that. There is always a position or a time when Baba would troop his people to Tononoka grounds, send a message, then go underground for a moment. We are seeing the ODM brigade in Tononoka, and we are seeing the other side of Sifuna in Kitengela. This was not a coincidence.
I don't think so. And you would see it both ways. It pulled a crowd.
Yes.
Both ways. So it was not an empty field. And about politics sometimes, there's a lot of, what can I say, reverse psychology in politics. You know, sometimes when you think you understand everything about politics, sometimes it's nice to be open-minded. How about that is their game, they are playing? What about what we think is not the issue?
Yeah.
How about they are not actually enemies? You know, that's another way of thinking about it. Because this is, Baba died like 3-4 months ago. Here you are with very strong divisions. Here is Sifuna being ousted. Here he is going to court, coming back almost in the same breath. And then you're not understanding this part. Who is playing who? Who is playing who? Or if this is happening in reality, you know, sometimes that's one way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
What of that is true, that they have this differing atmosphere, and then you get confused. You see, like Winnie Odinga is with the, you know, you get confused. Are you saying?
And that is the whole essence of politics.
You see, Winnie, you know, I think you're supposed to be confused. So when you're confused, I think whoever is doing it has achieved. Now, you see Winnie Odinga with Sifuna, then you don't even know. You know, those who are in ODM now, like me, I'm in ODM. You saw me wearing my scarf, and then you were getting confused. I was just dressing up for the day and for the show. I was not passing any message of maybe a political affiliation. You see, what confuses me more as an individual, I think, what is also confusing Kenyans, especially those who are in the ODM pact, who identify themselves by that party as of now. And Sifuna, Sifuna. I'm already calling you Sifuna. What's happening?
My name is
this
Victor.
Sifuna, it just gone viral. Your name is who, by the way? Oh, Victor. So, as I was saying, there is no way out from the time I started recognizing the political space that at this coalition was in this election. Maybe let's talk about 2007, and then the same coalition, it goes to another subsequent election after 5 years. I have never seen that happen. So what is happening right now, it's the usual. Kukuru kakara, and then it makes it worse with the demise of with the late Honorable Raila. It makes it more complex, but what is happening now should be happening that way. You know, the people don't go to the same coalition from one election to another. It has to change. But this time it is loud because what can I say? The one who leads people to Canaan. Our leader to Canaan, our Joshua, is dead. And you see, we are struggling with so much. You know, there are people, you know, mourning, you don't just mourn someone the day the person goes 6 feet under. There are people you may mourn even for 5-10 years. You know, trying to, you know, there's a very big gap, political gap. There is a social gap that the late left. That you see people like Sifuna, you saw him crying literally when they were going to pick him up. You saw him when he was in the plane. You know, when you see an African man crying, you know, we believe African men, quote unquote, have a thick skin. There's a way they don't cry even when their mothers die. They cry maybe and wipe them. They believe they shouldn't cry. But I saw Sifuna crying when Baba died. It hurt him. You know, there's where he's coming from.
Yes.
And you see, when I look at Winnie, this is my father. When I look at Mama Aida, this is my husband. Apart from, you know, we are in a space that is a bit familiar, unfamiliar, politically, socially, emotionally. And then all these people are expected to behave in a certain way, in the same expected way, when they have unfinished emotions they are processing. They have lost Ababa. So when all this, when I expect the way people are behaving. If it's Honorable Buru, he has lost a brother. You know, he has not lost a party leader.
Okay.
He has lost a brother.
I want to take a break, but perhaps I want to take a break, and when you come back, there is something you talked about. It is okay. People did not have enough time to mourn Baba. So is it a manifestation of the emotions that anything that triggers the name of Baba triggers emotions? And somebody who is there to punch that emotion to come out,
you know, people miss the Raila. You know, Raila could make an unpopular decision.
Let's take a break. When you come back, you'll also talk about the packaging. He wore a t-shirt of Baba and a Kenyan flag. Did you see that?
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Friday night again.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice, we
have to do it twice.
All right, welcome back. So, Gilbert, packaging, perception, and messaging are one thing in politics.
Yeah.
We see the brigade in Tononoka, fully dressed in orange, colors and all that. They're all draped in orange colors.
Yeah.
The other side of Kitengela, we did not see any sign of orange. Not even a kofia. We did not see that. The only thing we saw was Sifuna with a Kenyan flag, almost all through.
Yes.
A white T-shirt and a picture of Baba.
Yes.
That was it. Packaging, messaging, and perception.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me get back to Tononoka first and foremost.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I bring you to the time that Junet Mohammed was on stage and lambasting Okech Salah. If you remember why he lambasted Okech Salah is because Okech had made T-shirts, but what did he do? He did a mix of the orange colors and the picture of the President, William Ruto. And the question has been, what is ODM becoming? Is the Chungwa becoming UDA, or UDA and Chungwa coming together and losing their identities altogether? That has been a question that belatedly the Orange Party has learned that is going to dent their image. So as a result, they are quickly trying to dissociate themselves from the UDA party so that they can come to the UDA party and negotiate for the best that the party can get. Of course, also angling for the resources that they need for the elections that are coming. Most of the people in ODM who are angling for perhaps the best that should come from UDA side are people who are looking at the advantages of associating with the incumbency. I get the money, I win my second term, for example, in Homa Bay, the ODM Honcho in Homa Bay, Governor Wanga. She's looking for winning a second term. And how do you do it? If I associate myself with the president, the resources will come. The people, the other people who are Mbadi, for instance, lost his election in his constituency, but he continues to exist courtesy of the associating with this guy. So most people you see in that particular side are branding themselves such that they are able to, catch the attention of the president and get the goodies that come with it, but also guarantee their survival in the next election. In between, there are also people who are taking advantage because the president, as I told you, does not sleep. He had a hand in what is happening in Tononoka. That is what it looked like, a wedding party. Those T-shirts were very new. Nobody was wearing a T-shirt they have had for the last 1 year, maybe when they were there last. They were having new T-shirts that were given, and I saw actually the preparations that led people to have that inorganic breed we had in Tononoka. While in Kitengela, it was nearly haphazard. It's like, Jesus is in town, I have heard, let me go and witness. That is the kind of scenario experience there. Nobody had a party color that symbolizes an affiliation with any political party, because even the gentlemen who are there are also coming from different political parties. But I am telling you, it gave them an opportunity to gauge how are Kenyans perceiving us. You are going to see the Sifunas becoming bolder and bolder and bolder, because there is no Orange Party anymore, because the Orange Party was Raila Amolo Odinga. The people who are still calling it orange are just calling it orange for the sake of survival. But in their hearts, they know that the orange is actually in the grave.
Okay.
Yes.
Francis, maybe you can come up with that. As a politician, you know what packaging is all about? Messaging and branding?
I think the Tononoka thing, it was not ODM. It is the pill. The juice has already been squeezed out. So what Oburu is holding is that pill and trying to give an assurance that there is ODM. Because ODM is known for a particular ideology, standing for justice, being an advocate of the people. But Oburu has become very predictable. He even goes around saying that we can't stay without power. So the moment he discloses those intentions, people start looking at him with a different eye. Unlike Sifuna, who is and Babu Owino, who are living the true spirit of ODM that we used to see in Baba. Even if Baba had his own weakness as a person, because he will stand with the people, then the next minute you'll see him going for the half loaf. But he was unpredictable. You could not tell. Even when he's going to get the half the nusu mkate thing tomorrow, today you will find him on the street, fighting, pushing for the people, and that is what the Tononoka team is missing. And what Oburu is doing is not him. What people of ODM need to ask, who is doing the remote control behind the scene? And of course, you remember sometimes the president cautioned Sifuna and told him, I'm a founder member of ODM. So when you speak to me, you need to end up pole pole. So it is that script which is still going through. So there is somebody behind the scene who is trying to make things move. And even for those who are seeking re-election, the likes of Gladys Wanga, the question they need to ask themselves, are the people on the ground for them negotiating and getting power from UDA, or do they want an ODM that is distinct, that still speaks for the people? That's a mathematics and some calculation that people need to get, because as most people have been saying, the death of Baba is going to sire so many orphans. And it's already, everybody's fighting for space. It's all about survival. So as a brother had indicated, there is someone who is looking at it in terms of resources that will facilitate their re-election. And there are others who are like Bandi. For them, it's all about survival. So it's up to the ODM people to decide whether they want to follow the bread people, or they want to follow the Sifuna team that is speaking for the people. So I think it's going to be a long one, but if Oburu is not very careful, he'll find himself just holding nothing, or an orange that is either spoiled or it has already been squeezed the juice. So he needs to make sure that he accommodates everybody, and even for his own health. These young people have a lot of energy.
Right.
And they are going to give him very long nights. So what Oburu needs he needs to wake up and listen to every quarters of the ODM and see how he can bring them together, because Winnie is on the side of Sifuna. So with time, you might see also Mama Ida, because Oburu is brother to Raila. Then there is Winnie, the daughter to Raila and Ida. So you don't expect Ida to support or to advocate for what Oburu is doing, while the same people they want to get into a coalition with is tear gassing Winnie. They are harassing Winnie and trying to push her out of a party that they believe the father fought for and brought it into existence. So we expect further cracks, but Oburu is trying to copy. He's trying to be a Baba that he can't match. Even the energy, it's not there. That's why, as he was saying, he was trying to sing, but you could not. There's a way Baba used to bring it, but even when Oburu is singing, it's not coming out. So he just needs to be himself and let it be known for something other than trying to be Baba's copycat. That is what is going to help him. But ODM should be very cautious, because they are dealing with someone who is very crafty and also very manipulative in terms of political approach. That is President William Ruto. So what Oburu is thinking that is negotiating, they might find themselves completely losing control of ODM without knowing. And this is what Sifuna is seeing. And sometimes somebody said, what the dog sees at night and barks, the sheep sees the same and decides to keep quiet. So there is something Sifuna and the team are seeing that Oburu is seen, but he has chosen to ignore.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to accept the reality.
Okay.
But there is going to be a problem, and they might get a raw deal than what they are trying to bargain for.
Again, when Dr. Interesting what is said there. Quite interesting. I've picked so many things from his submission. Now, when you look at the whole thing, what is the end game? And my question to all of you, perhaps you can answer it differently. What if they work together? That whatever is happening, the division we are trying to see is politically scripted, you know, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. And then kuna junction pale mbele tukutane pale. Then
go that way.
Exactly. So what is the point of conversion?
Yeah.
Let's convergence. Let's go and converge there and compare notes.
We still have some days to play.
Go ahead.
We can play
yes,
until. You know, I wanted to also see it in terms of. I like going back to the way people think, a mindset. Here is a time. You remember when Raila was contesting for the AU seat, and then those who are opposed to him, of course, there's no one who can be liked by everyone.
Yeah.
Those who opposed him, I would say this he had one bullet. That was 2022. They decided he had. I think even previously they had said he has one bullet. You understand by that?
Yeah.
In the political atmosphere. And then there's this thing they tell somebody, Pure Box Bondo.
Bondo.
Yeah, after that one bullet, Pure Box Bondo. So even the president is told Pure Box Sugoi. Now, according to Kenyans, or according to those who are in the inside circle of late Raila, they wanted him to groom someone who's going to take over from him because as time went by, but the grooming didn't come forth. They kept on guessing. They kept on guessing who is it.
Yeah.
But now that one didn't come forth. He died. It didn't come forth. So it just remained there. So we don't even know who would he prefer that time before dying. Who would he prefer to take over as a political leader? Now, Kenyans are coming from this phase. And as I said, I just want to be very open and very fair at all costs. You see, here is Raila, the younger brother of Oburu, has been told Pure Box Bondo. He had one bullet 10 years ago. Then now, his brother is coming here, is coming in and wants to be in active politics when his younger brother was ideally supposed to be retired. That's just an opinion.
Yeah.
And I think that is what is bothering the people within the inside circle of the inside circle of ODM. They feel like, fine, Raila was had become of age, and all that was expected from him is to groom someone who was going to take over. And whoever was going to be groomed was not going to be that old man again. So I think Oburu is suffering twice. His age, his personality, because you know you can have a brother but you are two different personalities. Or you can have a sister who has a different personality. So him being an Oginga, that is not all. And I think I don't know whether they made this decision haphazardly or they so much they decided, or I'm not saying that he's not fit to be in that position. I just, you know, he's new. He is new to these things. And then, does he have that, you know, his brother had a Sifuna. His brother had a Junet.
Yes.
So who are his Sifunas? Who are his Junets? You know, when things are so hot, you know, your niece looks like it's not acceptable to ideologies.
Yeah.
But, quote, and I wouldn't say that Winnie is disrespecting the uncle, because she's being her. And I remember Winnie was very close to her father. She was very close to her father. So I wouldn't like to say, he's not that person who would just accept because you have said it.
Okay.
But would still respect you. I believe he respects his uncle.
Yes.
But there's what Winnie believes in. There's what Sifuna believes in. I'm sure if there's somebody who is not talking, it is because for the sake, it is better being quiet than not being quiet.
Very
but there's
good.
so much going on. Yes.
Okay. Gilbert.
I pity so much where Oburu finds himself, because they gave a narration of how Oburu became the acting party leader soon after the brother's death. That it was a conversation that began with the governor of Mombasa, Junet Mohammed, and a few other people. And he grinned and said, "Oh, you guys think I can be a party leader?" He seemed to be quite pleasantly surprised that people could think that he could be the party leader.
But okay, let's go back. ODM has got 3 deputy party leaders.
Yeah.
That is Abdul Samad, Honorable Simbarati,
yes,
and Senator Usotsi.
Because of the constitutional requirement by political parties.
Yes.
The person who leads that party is the guy who is at the top. That is essentially what it is. The rest can be filled for the sake of constitutional honoring. Now, Oburu himself, as Madam says, what the difference between Oburu and his brother is that his brother was his own brother, and he kept scoring. Even at 80, he could still score above an average politician. He would go with you to a stage, and he has 1 million people, you have none. So in terms of, mentoring someone so that they can take over him, there was basically no one, because these people were looking up to him.
Yeah.
He loves politics. He loved it so much that he didn't remember that. Remember, people thought Raila could not die. So even himself, he did not think that the hour could just come that very soon. What I really would wish for in the party is that, as it is, Osotsi narrated how he got a call from Gladys Wanga. But he thought it was Wanga calling. Then Wanga handed the phone to Oburu Odinga, who then spoke to him on phone. Politically, what does that tell you, or what does it show you? If we are all in the same party, Raila used to make a direct call to all these people, and he would meet you at 6 and tell me, meet me at the airport. What does it say now? It says, I am here with a man, I have his ears, you better know your place. Basically what it meant to Osotsi when the party leader calls through another person, gives him the phone. He cannot even honor you with a direct phone call. So the Oburu we are seeing is a person who represents several other narrow interests of people pursuing their own agenda, and he doesn't know it. They are taking an advantage of his, being a human being. There is the natural trust that you have for people around you. But ultimately, I am telling you, the person who will win in all this confusion is President William Ruto, because he just wants to get it. I would like to say something, a follow-up to what she said, that you had Kindiki came out very strongly on his post, because Oburu said they want the seat.
Yeah.
Then they came back and said, you guys think you'd want to have that party, you'll have that position. You're not going to have it. In other words, what they're saying is, we need you for the convenience that you come with, but leave the status quo as it is. And you have to know your place. If you don't know your place, we can as well play the card elsewhere. So therefore, what it basically means is that if ODM is not careful, their time, they will outlive their usefulness. Once the gentleman achieves his agenda, all of them will find themselves knocking at State House to be opened, but nobody will open for them. On the question of whether these people will ultimately work together, or whether it's a scripted, well, we are just like Socrates preaching on the streets. The answer lies with the future. But for me, based on the circumstances or the environment we have been finding ourselves in, a major accident happened, that is the death of Raila Odinga. So that caught everybody by surprise. Naturally, when something like that happens, you will find a lot of things, a lot of experiments going on before they ultimately settle. As to whether or not they might work together, I look at the issue is coming from the fact that Kenyans have specific issues against the president. One, there have been allegations that so many Kenyans during the Gen Z revolution were killed courtesy of his presidency. There are also the issues of SHA, the issues of many other things that Kenyans feel are not working. Now, this other team, the Sifunas and the like, are trying to restore hope that if you give us an opportunity, at least we can restore Kenya to where it has been. So in terms of working, Well, there would be people who would continue to work with President Ruto because of the advantage that comes with him being the president. But there are also Kenyans who are saying that we are so tired of where you have put us so far. Anybody who can give us a little reprieve, we are willing to give them an opportunity. So there will be two distinct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Hey, time flies. 2 questions very fast. Francis, who is speaking the real mind of Baba? Okay, we cannot ask him where he is right now. But politically speaking, and as Gilbert says, the future has the answer, the correct one. But who is speaking the mind and what Baba wanted to do come 2027? The Oburu side or the Sifuna side? What is coming out clearly as we speak?
I think...
I don't know whether you can pick that.
I think Baba was a mystery. And it is also not easy to tell between the two, because those who are in the government and are benefiting from it, if you ask them, their position is that Baba took us to government
and we are here until 2027, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Baba on several occasions, before even his demise, there was a time he asked people, who told you that ODM will not have a presidential candidate in 2027?
Confusing scenarios now.
So that alone should tell you, because Baba most of the time used to sacrifice. When he saw things were falling out of hand, sometimes he'll just go down for the sake of the nation and come to and agree that I don't have, it is not a mandatory that I win, so that I can have my way. Sometimes he used to make that sacrifice. But Sifuna, on the other side, they are speaking for the people. They are telling the Kenyans the things they want to hear. And that is what is shaping that narrative. And what you saw in Kitengela yesterday is just a tip. More is on the way coming, because these people are resonating. Whether you go, and the reason Oburu decided to go to Tononoka is only Mombasa currently, where they can comfortably go and hold a rally, because of the Joe factor, because and the deputy party leader, the governor of Mombasa. At least they can mobilize a few people. In Homa Bay and Kisumu, ground is very different.
What do you mean?
They might not receive the same reception. Let them go to Busia and hold a rally the same way the likes of Sifuna or Sosi did there. The reception will be very different, because there is a way the things are drifting. There is that shift, and that's why they could only run to Mombasa. If Baba wanted to make a statement before he goes to Tononoka, he will probably go to Kamukunji, he'll go to Kibera. Oburu is not, he doesn't have the capacity to do the same. So he can only run to Mombasa, where Joho has things in control, assisted by the governor of Mombasa. So it is sleeping. The things on the Oburu side, it's kind of drifting away. It is running out of control. So I don't see a point of convergence for the two. And even if it was a script, there is a script that you'll do. Once you are on the stage, the reception that you get from the people in the theater
will change the script.
Will change the script, and you have to flow. Because,
to whose advantage? To whose advantage?
To Sifuna and the brigade. Even if it was a script, these guys, the reception, the way people are reacting to their thing, might affect. Even if it was their script, you might find themselves, if Oburu is not willing to come to the table and engage on their term, you might find themselves forming a different political outfit that will champion for the Kenyans. And also, there are so many people. You saw Gachagua is really warming up for Sifuna.
He's ogling for them.
He's saying that I already had warned you that Ruto is not a very good person. So if they have thrown you out, come. Kalonzo is also, the Wiper Brigade is also telling Sifuna, Wiper can be your home. So that scramble for the team might end up changing the script if there was.
Okay, Dr. There's somebody
I would wish to say something. You ask a question about which team do you think, for lack of a better word, is legit among the two.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pass for. I would wish to disagree with him that right, you can be mysterious. You know, you can be mysterious, but there's what your wife knows. There's what your wife knows about you, but out here you can be so mysterious. And what do I mean? When you have closely associated with some people, the mystery unveils. Because I saw what they were doing. Sifuna is the one who was doing, when they go to any congregation, when other people are speaking before late Raila speaks, is the one who wants him over what he had and what he needs to address. There's so much he knew about Baba. How he operates,
politically,
how he reacts, politically, how he reacts, how he behaves. And then his very close daughter, Winnie, who also toppled up as his PA most of the time. He's the one who has to arrange his meetings and stuff. I believe Sifuna and Winnie know Baba. There's no mystery there. The only difference is that they have some respect for Honorable Buru. They want to respect him, but sometimes they fail because he's not meeting their expectations from a leader. And plus the mindset, you are not Raila. You know, he just died, and then it's like, okay, it was so rushed up and something, because they have like 4 deputies. How many deputies do they have? 4. This political space needs a stamina. But literally, it needs some stamina. There is what I'll do as a woman. There is what somebody else who is in the 50s can't do, or in the 60s can't do. So I think Sifuna knows something about Raila. Even everybody says this one. Oh, Baba said this. Baba said that. Baba says that.
Okay.
But I believe Sifuna was literally with Baba everywhere. You hear him anywhere, Sifuna is there.
Sifuna is there. Director says that we are running out of time. Gilbert, 30 seconds.
I just would like to conclude by saying I appeal for humility in the Orange Democratic Party. It is the lack of humility and arrogance of chasing everyone at any single point when they express a divergent view. They chased Kalonzo Musyoka, they chased Ruto, they chased so many people, and that has caused OGM the position that could have occupied, particularly at State House. So they continue to make the same mistake, they will get the same results. Finally, what I would like to say about Sifuna is that history is replete with history of people who rose at such a time, but the authorities were also watching. You remember Steve Biko of South Africa and many other younger leaders who rose, but they never saw the light of day. I think it's an opportunity for him to think about what the future holds for him and stay focused. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. You know, from where we come from, we say meet Karumo. We'll tell you what that means. Thank you so much. Gilbert Awino, who is a strategic communications expert, is also a lawyer. Francis Kaviu, minority leader, Machakos County Assembly. Asante sana for coming. And of course, the only lady in the middle of us is Dr. Evelyn Ogendo, political analyst and also commentator. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Finally, on the front page, Sifuna Rose, that is the standard. On the Star newspaper, what does it say? Pensioners to retire with millions in new NSSF savings system. That's on the front page of the Star. And finally, on the Daily Nation, starving amid plenty. Please go ahead and pick your favorite paper and read for yourself. Have a good morning. I'm Victor. Bye-bye.
Can you give me 3-6? Ulikuwa unakaa clown.
Mimi nilikuwa nakaa hivyo.
Watu na cheseanga na watoto hivi.
Mimi nataka urudi sehemu yako ya kupika chapati.
Obarikiwe na osanga mpaka biashara yako.
Hajabo bwana. Hapa jani mzuri. Kama
kuna inji aina inzi.
Somalia hakuna.
Ni kwa sababu ya diangati.
Sente. Mukai.
Uniform iko. Nilifika mtaa juu nikapata mamame yoyoma serious manze, ikabidi nijitume na hiyo maziwa pande ya osi.
Nini na kusumbua ni macho hauna.
Are you a talented artist or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
After I sign my resignation, I'll go straight to the station. If you guys ever see her again at the hotel, give it back to her.
Why her? Say hi. This is my daughter. This is my dance club.
Why did you change your mind?
Sir, we're really sorry.
I'm talking to Philip. Stop butting in.
That's enough out of you. Tell us now. Why'd you decide to stay? Don't talk like sunshine. Why this, why that? Come on, fess up.
Ni kuspoil after job.
Sile mtani haribu na yuko ni spoil.
Nani mwingine anakuspoil after job?
Ona si wacha mimi nirudi job, tutaongea baadaye.
Old friend,
wewe sio mtu mzuri.
Huyu ameambiwa nini huko ndani?
Mbona usifungue tu kaduka kako mjini? Ndio watu wa tax wakikuja niwaambie nini?
Unaweza enda mimi baki na Matilda. Na ukienda kwa Big Mama, urudi nyumbani mapema.
Mbona unapenda kuegemea upande wa Elijah na familia yake hivyo? Usiweke kitu chochote pale. Kwa sababu agreement haizungumzi hivyo. We, huyu ndio chief anajaribu kusaidia.
Sasa uko na tu pesa. Pesa ibadilishi kitu. Tuende kabla fikia. Laona sana.
Elijah.
Mama Josh, naomba nipe dakika 2-3 kidogo na na Josh. Nikiingia huko ndani sitopata chochote.
Ikibamba sana basi
It's new, exciting, and fun.
Nothing speaks to the heart more than good music. We are back. Fresh, better than before.
And of course, bringing you great mixes, gossip, interviews from your favorite artists, both local and international.
With me, Kalondu Musimi, the baddest in the game. You better say my name, baby.
And of course, your boy, Mr. Vago Brito, the DJ.
You can only find these on
Club One Extra every Friday from 4:30 p.m.
Woo!
Well, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. You're right on time for the Western Spectrum, a program that brings you issues that affect people from this part of the country and, of course, at a large extent, the entire country. And today we are happy to host the Deputy Director and Regional Manager, EACC Central Nyanza, Abraham Kemboi, and, of course, we'll be doing a deep dive into graft issues in the devolved units of Kisumu County, Vihiga County, and of course Siaya County. What you and I need to do to ensure that indeed we bring down the figures. The figures as pertains corruption are not very encouraging. We are talking about between 2 and 3 billion shillings lost in terms of corruption each and every day. When you put that or tabulate that, that is quite some money that can actually be used on very many fronts. But of course, not divulging much. We will bring on Abraham Kemboi. Abraham, karibu sana.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
2 to 3 billion Kenya shillings. And of course, the figure keeps oscillating between 2 and 3 billion. It's quite a figure. We are doing badly.
First of all, thank you for having me. Yes. Thank you, KBC. And good morning, Kenya. Yes. The figures.
You had to take a breath.
Are quite worrying. As you said, 2 to 3 billion. But I would like to say that no empirical studies have actually been done to confirm whether we are actually losing 2 to 3 billion. This is not to say that not much money is lost. A lot of money is lost. But the figures out there is what needs to be empirically determined so that we work on a very clear figure.
The figures notwithstanding, the fact remains that we are losing quite some amount of money. And of course, that money can actually be put into use to other things. What are we doing in terms of ensuring that indeed we nip in the bud these activities that continue to see us losing millions and billions of shillings each year?
Thank you, Simon. A very good question. You are aware that the Commission, the EACC, where I serve as a regional director here in Central Nyanza. And when we talk of Central Nyanza, we speak to Kisumu County, we are speaking to Siaya County, and we also speak to Vihiga County. A lot of interventions have been put in place by the government of Kenya. Key among them is, of course, resourcing these institutions, EACC being one of them. You know, we have a chain of institutions that deal with the issue of corruption in the country. Resourcing the institutions themselves are engaged in various activities. For example, at the EACC, we are involved in various investigations within the region that we cover here, Central Nyanza. We are involved in investigations in Siaya, where we are looking into allegations of loss of hundreds of millions, you know, by way of fictitious interests. These ones were allegedly stolen by senior officials of that county. Those ones who are entrusted to, you know, protect those resources. In particular, officials within the finance department. Apart from the issue of theft, those public funds, we are also looking into the issues of conflicts of interest. Majority of those officials are conflicted. You know, most of them do business with the county government. You have someone who registers a company and they do supplies to the same county government. Now, it is not only EACC that has flagged down these issues of conflict of interest. It has been identified by other stakeholders like Financial Reporting Center. And you know, Kenya is not an isolated environment. These issues of conflict of interest and concealment of process of crime are also detected by other actors within the globe. That is what is known as Financial Action Task Force, and which has identified some of these issues, and we are pursuing them to ensure that the perpetrators are taken into account for all those malpractices. It will interest you to note that as a result of these criminal acts, corrupt dealings by those officials, Kenya as a country has been placed in a grey list. And as we fight some of those cases to do with conflict of interest and concealment of proceeds of crime, we are trying to remove our country from the grey list so that it is considered as one of the countries that is easy to do business in. When we come to Kisumu County, we have quite a number of officials also in the executive, as well as the county assembly, senior officials for that matter, who are equally conflicted, and we are working on them so that once we conclude the investigations, appropriate remedies be put into place. When we go to Vihiga County Government, same issue. You recall that the Senate has flagged most of the malpractices in Vihiga to do with the county assembly, where there is mismanagement of, mortgages and car loans. There is also embezzlement of public funds. There is overpricing of structural or infrastructure projects. And all these, we are looking into them. I would like to say, apart from the enforcement aspect, the Commission is empowered by the Constitution and the law to engage in preventive acts so that this corruption really is stopped from the source.
From the onset. Fantastic.
Yes.
When you look at the patterns that you've actually put out there, it is quite predictable in the sense that the Commission already knows that there's inflation of prices on infrastructural activities. There are officers who are actually fictitiously claiming interest. There are officers who are conflicted. Those are patterns that can actually be predicted. Why is it that it's taking too long? And a common mwananchi on the ground, despite the fact that saying that we are actually been put in a gray zone, I want to believe that is slightly better than being in a red zone, right? They're not feeling that. They're not seeing that. What do we need to do, or what do we need to tell our people so that then they understand that indeed there's actually movement towards a better place?
Thank you, Simon. Having said that, a lot of action is being taken. What I consider as the most serious and productive action that we can take as government is strict enforcement of the law on corruption and economic crimes. It's not only...
That is where the challenge comes, because, of course... But every time the Commission has actually tried to strictly enforce the law, there's quite a number of interference. And of course, that interference comes, one, from our people is being targeted, of course, politics and the powers that be.
Well, it is not for me to talk about politics in this forum. You've said it yourself, and I know there are other stakeholders who can deal with the politics of fighting corruption. But having said that, the fight against corruption is actually like a relay. There is the initiator who hands over the baton to other actors. So the result of this fight is as good as the entire team of actors in that relay.
Dropping the button. In this relay.
In this relay, your guess is as good as mine.
I don't have any guess. You're actively in the field. I want to know who's actually dropping the button.
What I want to say is that I want to invite you at your own time, do an audit, right? From the start all the way to the end. There is a bit that EACC does. There are other stakeholders who are also empowered by the law and the Constitution to do their bit. So if you desire to establish where the problem is, then I invite you to do that audit and you will find it for yourself. I will go back to the point that we need to strictly enforce the law. It's not only the law on corruption, other laws in the country. Because if we do not enforce these laws, there will be lack of that deterrent effect. You know, you do not need to investigate thousands of corruption cases, but you need to investigate one, enforce it properly, prosecute it thoroughly, so that the perpetrators are punished in a proper manner. What this one will do is that all those ones who want to do the same gimmick, to be engaged in the same monkey business, will stop it. Otherwise, if we fail to enforce the law strictly, it is going to be costly for the government to investigate most of these cases over and over. It's going to be expensive for the government to process these cases over and over in the courts through prosecution and, of course, recovery.
Lethargy in terms of prosecution of some of these cases, has it contributed immensely on the boisterous nature of some of these politicians? After they come out, of course, they appear in court, and the following day they're out there and saying, wamenijaribu sana, lakini hawajaniweza.
Again, as a regional manager, that one is left to the policy holders of the commission. I deal with operational issues.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
let's talk about Kisumu. Kisumu last year was categorized as one of the counties, one of the 6 counties in this country that are hotspot for land theft and public land theft. How bad is the situation? Gangsters' paradise.
The situation is very bad here in Kisumu. You may want to say that generally about 40% of land that was earmarked for public use is actually in the wrong hands. When I speak to public land, I speak to land that was earmarked for Kenya Railways, land that was earmarked for housing locally, land that was earmarked for police stations and other public utilities, the schools, the roads, the health facilities. You know, most of it, most of that land or those parcels are in wrong hands. And as a commission, we have taken steps to ensure that this land is restituted back to the public for the good use for all of us, including yourself. You know, it cannot be that as a private person, you've taken away a police station and you want our police officers maybe to be squeezed in a corner, whereas you as a private person, you own the largest part of that police station. And we have these examples in a police station in Kasagam. There is a police station in Kawash, Mamboleo Showground. Most of those parcels of land have been grabbed. And in fact, in the recent past, I know the local member of parliament.
How courageous can someone be to actually grab a police station?
It is very interesting that people can be so daring that you want to take away a police station, then you want to evict the police, our officers who guarantee us our security. And you want to feel so nice. You want to look like you are an entrepreneur. You know, how can you be that enterprising, whereas most of the time you focus on taking away that belongs to all of us. And having said that, because of much of those reports reaching our office, and especially in Kisumu East constituency, where the local MP is Shakir Shabir, we are moving in to recover most of those grabbed parcels of land. And we would like to warn these grabbers that you will be wasting your investments if you deploy your resources on a parcel of land that was traditionally and historically set aside for the good use by the people of Kenya. You are wasting your investment. The law has been clarified. Maybe, I don't know, most Kenyans, they are informed, but they don't follow these, directives as guided by law. In Kenya currently, precedence has been set that whatever was set aside for any good use for the public, no one under the law has the authority to claim those properties.
Abraham, that is the law. However, so brazen are some of these people that they actually grab pieces of land or even houses that belong to the public and go ahead and rent it back to government. And I'm talking in particular of that particular house in Milimani Estate. How brazen can someone be?
They can be very daring because, as I said previously, the law was not enforced properly. Now, what the commission is doing is that we will recover that parcel of land, the house, including taking action on all those government officers who are involved in this fraudulent allocation. Secondly, we will also recover what we think is the proceed, the income that you have earned as a result of irregularly occupying that government property. This is common in Milimani area, where we have people who have taken away government houses. They are also listening to the same government. Some commissions are being housed in, premises. They are paying rent for what they should not be paying. We are also moving to look into some estates in Milimani. We have the housing estate, Block 12, where we are intent on recovering the same. We are also looking at Block 9, which is historically a prison's parcel of land. Some not so good Kenyans and scrupulous Kenyans took away, which the land that belonged to prisons, sold it to unsuspecting Kenyans. Those Kenyans did development, but we are moving in to ensure that that parcel of land is taken back to the Kenya Prisons Services.
That brings into question the sanctity of title deeds in Kisumu County. Let us not talk about other areas of jurisdiction. In Kisumu County, as a person who wants to buy a piece of land in Kisumu County, what do I need to do to ensure that indeed this piece of land that I'm actually buying, I'm not actually being conned of my hard-earned cash?
Very good. There is what is known as due diligence. Before you buy land in Kisumu, just look at a basic document. Go to the fiscal planning office. Look at the development plan of Kisumu town. It will tell you this portion was earmarked for a road. This is a railway station. This is a police station. This is a prison's housing land. This is government housing land. This is Kenya Airport land. This is Kenya Pipeline land. It is very clearly earmarked in the original plans of Kisumu town. Once you notice that the parcel of land that you are intent in acquiring lies within those planned areas. Please don't waste your money. It will actually be a loss to you. So land that was set aside for public use will always remain for public use unless the government disposes it in a lawful way.
Fantastic, Kemboi. I have so many questions. When I put up this poster yesterday, there's so many questions that are actually coming in. And one of the questions that I've actually already received pertains the Block 9 and 12 pieces of land in Milimani. Of course, that's an issue that we'll be discussing right after this break. We're going on for a short break. When we come back, of course, we're still with Abraham Kemboi, the manager of Central Nyanza, EACC, who is actually putting us into perspective of exactly what they're doing in this region in terms of the fight against graft. See you after the break.
Can you give me 360? Ulikuwa unakaa clown. Mimi nilikuwa nakaa hivyo. Watu nacheseanga na watoto hivi.
Mimi nataka urudi sehemu yako ya kupika chapati.
Obarikiwe na osanga mpaka biashara yako.
Hajapo bwana. Hapa jikani mzuri. Kama
kuna inji aina inzi.
Somalia hakuna.
Ni kwa sababu ya diangati.
Ni sente.
Mukai. Uniform iko? Nilifika mtaa juu nikapata mama ameyoyoma serious manzi, ikabidi nijitume na hiyo maziwa pande ya osi.
Nini na kusumbua ni macho hauna? Una shile wewe. Kwa nini unyoosha kichwa la wewe mzee?
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
After I sign my resignation, I'll go straight to the station. If you guys ever see her again at the hotel, give it back to her.
Why bother? I'd say hi. This is my daughter. This is my dance club.
Why did you change your mind?
Sir, we're really sorry.
I'm talking to Philip. Stop butting in.
That's enough out of you. Tell us now, why'd you decide to stay? Don't talk like Sunshine. Why this, why that? Come on, fess up.
Great. Welcome back. We are still hosting Deputy Director and Regional Manager, EACC Central Nyanza, Abraham Kemboi. And of course, just before we went on that break, we are discussing the sanctity of our title deed in Kisumu County, what you need to do to ensure that indeed you are not conned of your hard-earned cash, even as you want to invest out there. And one of the key issues that have actually been raised, Kemboi, has been the issue of the small fish. That we are going for the small fish in the ocean. Yet kuna papa na nyangumi. Why are you scared of the big fish?
Thank you, Simon, once again. before I respond to the issue of the small and big fish, allow me to go back to the issue of the sanctity of the title. That the courts have been very clear. The law is very clear. All the way, the jurisprudence that is established now is that any title that is tainted with an illegality or fraud is never protected by the law. That you cannot claim you are an innocent purchaser for value of something that was originally, as a result of a criminal act. So those titles are not protected by the law. And it can as well be said that those ones who have such titles within this town and any other town in Kenya, you are exposed. I could as well say that you're walking around with just papers, but not instruments of ownership. Having said that, let me come back to the issue of small fish, the big fish. When you look at these issues critically, and I'll give you an example. The so-called small fish usually emanate from service delivery points where the people of Kenya go to look for service. Say, for example, police stations. Say, for example, revenue offices. Say, for example, lands offices. And many other offices where ordinary wananchi, the hospitals, go for services. When they go to these offices, there is that, practice of demanding for something small from them. For example, the other day here in Kisumu, we arrested a police officer who had been detaining a so-called suspect for 4 days on allegation that the so-called suspect was in possession of bank. A person is arrested on Sunday, held in custody the whole Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in various police cells. Held in ransom, awaiting delivery of a bribe. 15,000. Or 15,000. You can imagine the pain that person goes through. 15,000 for you to be held for 4 days in captivity. No charges preferred against you. So what you may be calling small fish, the 15,000, is actually of grave concern to an ordinary Kenyan. Another example is these revenue officers here. Somebody within Kisumu town, someone has taken loan, you purchase a matatu, you are operating either between Kisumu and Siaya or Kisumu, Kisii. So the revenue officers within the bus park, every day they come for their kickback, small amounts of money. To a matatu operator, this request for 5,000 daily is not small or big money. It's not big, small money. If you are making a margin of 2,000 as a matatu operator, and someone is asking for 5,000, at the end of the month, you are supposed to pay for the loan. Is that something small? To that person, it is so painful to be paying such an amount every day. So the question of small or big fish does not arise. In fact, if you are a Christian, you are told that the sin that will come to consume your life, the fire that will burn a forest, starts as a small spark. So yes, we are dealing with small and big fish in equal measure. Because the consequences of these small fish, you can also relate them to the big fish. We deal with them in the same manner. We fry all of them in the same manner.
Fantastic.
And in any case, most of the complaints that come to the office, these were the small ones. And the people appear so affected. And you sympathize with them. And you cannot ignore those small, complaints.
Yes.
Thank you.
The question then that arises from this small fish syndrome is the fact that most Kenyans are willing offenders in the sense that someone is asking for money from me, and it's easier for me to actually give out that money rather than going through the whole hog in the entire full length in terms of doing what I'm supposed to be doing. For instance, if it's compliance in terms of my matatus having the rightful documents, instead of, ensuring that my matatus have the right documents, I would rather give out 5,000 shillings. And that, of course, makes business and service delivery quite expensive in this country. Is it time for Kenyans also to sit back and ensure that they do the right thing?
Yes, we would like to ask Kenyans, to stop this behavior of taking shortcuts. In terms of the way things should be done, if you are supposed to pay for the licensing, please go ahead to do that. If you are supposed to pay certain fees, maybe for the bus park, please proceed to do that so that we avoid this temptation to bribe government officers, escalating the entire problem to unmanageable levels. But in most times, it will surprise you, Simon, that even if you comply with all these requirements, it is as if the government officers would rather have you on the wrong side. They would rather advise you not to pay so that they have an opportunity, to get something from you. And so those small things
just sheer, a desire to have an extra coin from the government officers that are actually involved in this, or just the fact that people really don't care and don't want things to be right in the right manner?
Well, it is a combination of the two. You see, failure to do what is supposed to be done cumulatively, it will drive the situation to a level whereby now it's like no one really, cares. Or, we leave it the way, we let the system to run the way it is running.
Wait, let us shift gears and move into the institutions of higher learning in this region. I want to talk about Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University in Siaya. I want to talk about Maternal University in Kisumu County. And of course, I want to talk about Kaimosi University or a college in Vihiga County. Quite a number of concerning issues coming out. In Maseno, investigations are underway. Someone sat down and decided to employ relatives, close relatives, family, friends, and concubines. How bad can a situation be?
It is really bad. It is a sad situation. And as you rightly said, you cannot use your position to employ those ones who you consider close to you. And we are looking into that issue in Maternal University. Plus, of course, we have officials of that university, senior ones, who hold key positions on account of fake academic documents. An institution of higher learning employing people who have fake academic documents, and we are processing those ones. Appropriate action will be taken. Now, in Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University, we have cases of, over variation in capital projects. We have the hostels, which the previous leadership used them as a vehicle to defraud the public. And we are pursuing that. and we will recover the money. The case is already before High Court in Siaya. We will recover that money. And of course, criminal action will be taken against those ones who perpetrated that crime. In the other university, that is Kaimosi, Friends University, we have an issue to do the overpricing again of a tuition block, which we are investigating, and of course, remedial action will be taken. We will recover the money, the excess money paid to the contractors, and sanction those ones who are involved in that fraud. Generally, apart from the other institutions, the county governments, we are also looking at the institutions of higher learning, as you rightly put it, and so that we also ensure that these institutions of higher learning do what is expected of them. They are actually, the fountains of knowledge as expected of them.
The questions that I'm actually getting is about Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University, and questions are rising over, one, you've actually alluded to it in terms of fake papers, but also graduation. Students graduating on the basis of fake results that have actually been given to them by either lecturers, or they have found a way out through the system to actually have fake results into the system, and they actually go ahead and graduate.
Well, that's another issue that we are looking into.
And more specifically, that case in Bondo, in Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University. What came of it?
Yes.
What came of it?
It is an investigation that is actually being concluded, and very soon we will let Kenyans know our findings about it. And basically, as we've said, it was alleged that some lecturers, you bribe a lecturer, and in fact we have some M-Pesa transactions, then you do not attend class or exams, and you are given some nice marks, and you proceed to graduate. It is unbelievable, it is terrible that institutions can go to that level where we will be having doctors, we will be having teachers who really did not qualify to do what they claim to be doing. So yes, we are taking action on the same, and very soon we will let you know of what we found from that investigation.
Because that is not an isolated case. Other universities, of course, we've had situations where students are complaining about missing marks, and then from nowhere, they're actually able to graduate. Parents and employers out there will be asking themselves, how then do we ensure that this certificate that we're getting from this institution is not courtesy of fake results that are actually given to this student, that I'm actually employing a person or a student who actually went through the course full-time, and I'm having a fully baked person who is actually coming to work in my institution.
You're right. The employers and all of us, we should be very concerned. And we would like to urge these institutions of higher learning to strengthen their controls, quality controls, to ensure that the people who have actually gone through the education system, those ones properly qualified, are the ones who graduate and become various professions that are desired out here. Yeah. So, yes, strengthening the controls, and of course, this issue of integrity that we talk about every day, it comes into play. The ethical standards of the institution, it must be, guarded by those who are entrusted with the running of those institutions.
We are almost done with our hour. The question that I want to ask you as we conclude is that your urge in terms of Kenyans being active participants in ensuring that we fight crime. What are you asking them to do?
Well, I will ask all Kenyans, first of all, desist from the temptations to be corrupted. And number two, whenever you come across these incidences of corruption and any other crime, please engage the relevant authorities. Engage the EACC, engage the police, engage any other government office that it is established to assist Kenyans. And overall, all Kenyans, let us shun corruption, because this animal called corruption If we do not deal with it, if we do not fight corruption, chances are that all our desires may not be achieved. For example, in all that we want to do as a country, we want a country where security is guaranteed. We want a country where drugs, the menace of drugs and alcohol is managed. We want a country that is developing for all of us. If we do not fight corruption, if we do not stop being corrupt, all these desires may not be achieved.
That is a good place to end our conversation. I just read one or two comments from our followers. Derek from Busia, you are asking when we'll be going to Busia to actually have a similar conversation. Of course, that is something we'll do. And of course, very many other comments here touching on the good work that EACC is doing, and they need to continue the same. But they're also saying that you need to act fast, especially in terms of the sanctity of title deeds in the Milimani area. Of course, that has been the Deputy Director and Manager of EACC Central Nyanza, Abraham Kimboi, giving us details of exactly what he's doing here in his region in terms of the fight against graft on behalf of each and every person who's actually been part and parcel over this conversation. Thank you very much. Our colleagues on camera operation, Christine and Martin, and of course our logistics person, Edwin, and on behalf of this fantastic building that we continue to have this conversation each and every Monday, the Mirage Palace Hotel in Kisumu County. It's thank you, and I take you back to Broadcasting House for normal programming.
Can you give me 360? Ulikuwa unakaa clown.
Mimi nilikuwa nakaa hivyo.
Watu inacheseanga na watoto hivi.
Mimi nataka urudi sehemu yako ya kupika chapati.
Obarikiwe na osanga mpaka biashara yako.
Hajabo bwana. Hapa jikani mojuri. Kama
Kuna inji aina inzi.
Somalia hakuna.
Ni kwa sababu ya diangazi.
Sente. Mukai. Uniform iko? Nilifika mtaa juu nikapata mamame yoyoma serious manzi, ikabidi nijitume na hiyo maziwa pande ya osi.
Nini nakusumbua, ni macho hauna? Una zile wewe. Kwa nini niweze kijua la wewe mzee?
Friday night again. Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
After I sign my resignation, I'll go straight to the station. If you guys ever see her again at the hotel, give it back to her.
Why bother? I'd say hi. This is my daughter. This is my dance club.
Why did you change your mind?
Sir, we're really sorry.
I'm talking to Philip. Stop butting in.
That's enough out of you. Tell us now. Why'd you decide to stay? Don't talk like Sunshine. Why this, why that? Come on.
It's new, exciting, and fun.
Nothing speaks to the heart more than good music. We are back.
fresh, better than before.
And of course, bringing you great mixes, gossip, interviews from your favorite artists, both local and international.
With me, Kalondu Musimi, the baddest in the game. You better say my name, baby.
And of course, your boy, Mr. Vibe Brito, the DJ.
You can only find these on
Club One Extra every Friday from 4:30 p.m.
Woo!
In Langalanga village, Gilgil, Nakuru County, a familiar sound cuts through the resilience, the steady hum of knitting machine. Born a normal child, Gladys' life took a sudden turn in 2002 when she lost her sight.
Huwa ninatumia machine kusikia na macho sioni hata kidogo.
Later, she also experienced hearing challenges and today relies on a hearing aid to communicate with the world around her.
Nachukua uzi ninaweka, ninashona, sote nikimaliza, mimi mwenyewe ndio hujiunganishia.
But where many saw limitation, Gladys saw possibility. After losing her sight, Gladys joined a rehabilitation facility where she learned knitting skills.
After that, nilishona miaka miwili nikamaliza. Alafu nikarudi nikaenda tena Irene Training Center. Hiyo iko Meru.
There, she was given an opportunity with a knitting machine that would redefine her life. Using touch, memory, and determination, Gladys weaves threads into sweaters and fabrics. Each piece tells a story of resilience. Living alone, she finds for herself, fetching her daily needs and running her small business independently.
Ni mtoto wa kujifanyia kazi na si mtu wa kuombaomba. Juu hata tangu nimjue mimi sijaisikia akiomba.
Yet, the journey has not been easy.
Mtu anaweza akaingia akuje aniambia nataka sweta. Mimi namwambia kama ni 400 ananipatia 100. Unaona? Anaenda mimi kutida kutukia tu hivi najikuta niko na 200 watu wangu.
Beyond stigma, changing times have also worked against her. The knitting industry has evolved, and the traditional sweaters she makes are now in low demand.
Kama hizi hazina watu hawanunui, niko na nyingi, watu wanataka hizo zingine za uzi kidogo, nyuzi kidogo.
Still, her spirit remains unbroken.
Sisi walemavu huwa tuna kipawa nyingi. Hata kama mtu utaona hataweza kusoma, anaweza kuwa na kitu kingine anaweza kufanya maishani mwake.
Gladys dreams of acquiring advanced knitting tools, machines that can improve quality, increase production, and help her compete in today's market.
Kwa miaka hiyo yote 22 ambayo nimekuwa nikishona na hii machine, ilikuwa inanisaidia kulipa nyumba, kununua chakula, hata mavazi, na hata kununua betri za masikio. Ningeomba tu mkinisaidia, mimi ni mtu huwa anajua kujifanyia kazi, huwa ninajituma.
Her story is a reminder that disability is not inability. With support, dignity, and inclusion, persons living with disabilities can thrive.
Na pia wazazi wachukue jukumu ya kutoa watoto wao wenye wako na ulemavu, ndiposa wa create awareness ili watu wote wawe wakitoa watoto wao ndio wapate kusaidiwa na pia wajisaidie wao wenyewe.
For Gladys, disability is not inability. She is pushing for her dreams one day at a time. Reporting from Langalanga, Nakuru County for KBC Channel 1, I'm Aaron Marie.
Brenda is a mother of 3. Today, she attends clinic at the Gataka Health Center in Rongai, Kajiado County. In her earlier pregnancies, Brenda did not attend clinic early. She didn't even fully understand why it mattered. Like many women in her community, she waited until she felt unwell.
Wajua wakati ingine tulikuwa tunapima vitu zote na vitu zingine wako tunajua zinafaa zipimwe mapema ndio wajue shida iko wapi. Lakini kama ile ingine nilikuanga na shida ya kizunguzungu sana. Unapata saa zingine tena niko na uchovu mingi bila kujua.
But everything changed in her 3rd pregnancy. This time, Brenda started clinic early.
Naona kuna utofauti because wakati tulikuwa tumeshika ujauzito, hao watu wa St. John ndio wakaanza kutembea, ndio wakaanza kutuelezea tuende kwa hospitali mapema, tukujua hata kuna mara ya kwanza, ya pili, ya 3. Na ile zingine tulikuwa naenda tunakaa hata miezi 7 tunaenda tukikaribia kumaliza. Lakini hii kama huyu nilienda mwanzo. Nikifika miezi 3 already walikuwa washapita washatuelezea ndio nikaanza kwenda clinic mapema.
For the first time, Brenda says she felt supported not just by nurses at the hospital, but by the community health promoters who followed up closely.
Hawa CHPO wakitembea wanakisha wamewafuatilia kila siku watakuuliza kila mwezi nipea report. Hii itakufanya lazima utaenda clinic. Ndio kiitisha ukue nayo. Umeenda clinic ndio hii report imeenda. Akisa unajua usipoenda utawapea nini?
The real difference for Brenda became clear on the day she went into labor.
So kama huyu ilinipata kama wakati yenye nilikuwa usiku sana. Na in mind nikawa ninangoja nitafute taxi nini nikapata wote hawapatikana, mvua ilikuwa inanyesha. First nilitafuta huyu CHP wetu huyo. Ndio nikampigia simu nikamwambia mimi siko sawa, naona kama ni wakati umefika. Alichukua jukumu. Alifika hadi kwa nyumba. Fika kwa nyumba, akanitoa mwenyewe paka tukapanda pikipiki, tukapata paka vile tunapata gari penye tulikuwa tutokee paka kwa barabara, tukachukua gari hadi wapi? Hospitali.
That night, Brenda delivered safely under the care of trained health workers, a support she believed saved her life.
Ile wakati sasa nikienda kuzaa unapata nikishajifungua, ninapatikana sina damu, niko na damu kidogo. Lakini sasa huyu ile changamoto ilikuwa tofauti because nilianza mapema. Nikaanza kukula matunda, mboga, maji vizuri, kupumzika vizuri, exercise nafanya vizuri, naenda check up kila wakati. Kwenda mapema hospitali ni vizuri na kujifungua hospitali ni mzuri sababu utatoka huko ukiwa umeangaliwa kila kitu kuliko nyumbani. Nyumbani kuna vitu unaweza acha kama hii bleeding haujui na bleed sana. Lakini huko watakusaidia, utapata hiyo bleeding itastop, kuna sindano unaweza dungwa.
Another young mother on her own journey is 23-year-old Christabel Juma. A mother of 1 and currently 5 months pregnant, her pregnancy has not been easy.
Hii naye nimegonjeka sana. Nilikuja nikapima damu pia ni kidogo. Wakaniambia ninunue dawa, nimeza kukula shida.
Getting balanced meals every day is not easy, but she keeps going to clinic. In her first pregnancy, Christabel gave birth at home, but this time round, she's confident of delivering in hospital.
Sasa nyumbani sasa mtoto akaanza kuniuma. Na nikasema kanipeleka hosi. Sasa vile tulifika hosi daktari akasema njia za mtoto bado.
These personal stories are part of a bigger change happening at the Gataka Health Center in Kajiado North. For years, the facility had no ultrasound machine. Expectant mothers had to be referred to private facilities for scans at high costs. Facility in charge Agre Omanga explains.
So by the end of the day, you find that the population that we are serving are not people who are well off, so they lack these funds. And when you refer these clients for the ultrasound services, they go and they disappear not to come back.
The introduction of portable point-of-care ultrasound POCUS means instead of referring mothers outside, clinicians can now do bedside scans at the facility. Government guidelines require at least 2 ultrasound scans in the first and third trimesters.
It used to be 4 visits, but now we are doing 8 visits. However, we have not reached the target because some clients also, we have some challenges of clients coming in late. They start even as late as second trimester to come to the clinics.
6,000 women die in Kenya due to preventable maternal deaths. That translates to 16 of them each day. It is such initiatives that bridge the gap to ensure that expectant women continue to receive maternal health education and timely care. Beyond the hospital walls, community health promoters play a major role. They follow up mothers at home and encourage clinic visits. The result? More women delivering in health facilities, more early antenatal visits, more mothers like Brenda and Christabel getting help before it's too late.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Good Morning Kenya. In case you're just joining us, my name is Vivian Degwa, and we now officially get into our family check segment. And as I had mentioned earlier on the show, today we're going to be looking at our local languages. We are going to be trying to see where we're going wrong, if at all we are going wrong, matters just preserving and allowing our languages to thrive. That is our mother tongue to thrive. How many of you can speak your languages, especially my younger people? Can you speak your languages and can you speak it fluently? That is the discussion we'll be having today. And my discussants of the day, I will begin from my immediate right. We have Dr. Kenneth Ngure, who is a linguist and senior lecturer at the Kenyatta University. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And then right next to him, we have Kevin Moremi. Kevin Moremi is a language programs manager, BTL East Africa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then we also have Timothy G. Kamau, who's advocacy specialist, SIL Africa. Welcome to the show. And finally, we have Dr. Johnston Kumwa, who is a life coach, a trainer, a mentor, and an author as well. Welcome to the program. It's a pleasure to have you here, gentlemen. And, you know, on the 21st of February, we get to celebrate International Mother Language Day. And the theme for this year is revitalizing indigenous language in a multilingual world. So when you talk about revitalizing our indigenous languages, what does that mean? Just from your point of view, if I may begin with you.
Oh, thank you so much, Vivian. And I'm grateful to have me here. And what an interesting topic we have. Revitalizing a language. Simply saying that that language is, you are making it healthy, and it's a language that can be used in almost all the domains of human communication. That I can use this language when I am in an office, I can use this language in the market, I can use it at home. That is now a revitalized language. It simply means that it is a healthy language. And that is what we need to do with our indigenous languages, so that we don't just limit them to the home. So we can use them even in offices. We can use them in county assemblies and the like.
How possible is that? Just from you giving us that definition and what that means, I'm just thinking, how possible is it for us to get to a point where even at the workplace we are using our native languages? Is that even possible?
Wow, amazing. When we talk about usage, because that's the whole issue of vitality, I would say it is possible to come to a place whereby in some setups, of course not all, where we can have our mother language is spoken in offices. It should be practical, because an example would be...
they need to check your mic, so maybe I can pass the question to you, Dr. Johnston.
Yes, please.
Just how possible is it to get to a point where we are actually able to use our native languages across all boards?
It is possible with a lot of sensitization. We need to go back to our communities and show the importance of our indigenous languages. And because I've realized that we seem to pay a lot of attention to and importance to our other so considered superior languages, like English. If you go to Tanzania, they are comfortable with Swahili. They use Swahili everywhere.
Yeah.
It is the language of instruction. It is what they use in their offices. So it's possible we can make it happen. Yes.
It is possible for us to make it happen.
Absolutely.
But you know, from even if I can speak from my experience,
Yeah.
you know, growing up, even in schools, we were just, I mean, even you speaking Swahili was punishable. You know, there was this mantle that you would carry around if you speak Swahili.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining, at what point was I even supposed to learn my mother tongue? If even Swahili was a problem, because, you know, it's full on English. You just need to know how to speak English. Would you say that that is where we first went wrong?
Yeah, I think the question you just asked, I agree with Dr. Kenneth. When we talk of revitalizing a language, 4 things come to mind, or the 4 skills of learning a language come into mind. Over time, we have just domesticated or located our mother tongues into listening and speaking, which are 2 key skills of learning a language. We need to move them further. As we revitalize them, we promote them, we make them more feasible into reading and writing. Most people say that there is not much which is written in mother tongue. We do not expect people to come from far. When I go to work with communities from where I sit, when I go to a community, I tell the community, it is your role to write in your language. It is your role to read in that language. What I can just come here is just be catalytic, just to help them make that happen. Yeah. So revitalizing means we take the 4 skills. Do we have the materials? Can we write? Are people reading? And then, as we are going to maybe to be hearing, we also need to see people using these languages even in other forms of media, not just on print media. Yeah.
Amazing. As I was saying is that, Vivian, when you think of it, why would an office set up in the very interior part of Kiambu serving natives and the officer in that office is from the community? Why would we insist that the people, the community, has to learn Kiswahili or learn English so that they can communicate with one who we would say is their son or their daughter in that office? So it is possible contextually to have our mother tongue come to a place of official purpose for use in offices within some contexts. And that is why we can't have the excess of thinking that we will do a national overhaul of our offices. Thank you.
All right. So would you say the younger generation now are embracing and valuing our indigenous languages or our local languages as much as previous generations did? Are we speaking our languages now?
Yeah, thank you. And to answer that, I think I should also get back to that question. There is a question you asked. Where did the rain begin beating us? I think it began with demonizing our indigenous languages. That teachers made us feel that it is wrong. You don't need to speak that language, and we were punished. We were punished. So unfortunately, that is something that has still stuck with us. Even when we finally are free to use that language, you still remember that trauma of having punished to speak your language. But then I can say that all is not lost. Yesterday I listened to one politician who had attended a church in Nairobi, and he was commending the congregation that he has seen the young people in that particular Sunday service communicating in their mother tongue. And I think there is some kind of interest, a kind of rejuvenation, interest in mother tongue among the young people. So even here in Nairobi, you will find there are churches that have services in mother tongue. And if this is happening in the city, what would we say about in the villages? And we say that about 70% of the Kenyan population is in the village. So I think all is not lost.
Yeah.
The young people are learning these languages. Yeah.
I mean, we were being prepared to be global citizens. I guess that's why we were not really encouraged to speak more of our native languages, because I mean, if you're being prepared to be a global citizen, then maybe these are not the languages that you should be conversant in. But as you're saying, more younger people now are drawing interest in that. I know of a couple, you know, several, 3 or 4 people who are now intentionally learning their languages. They are paying to learn this language the same way I would go to Goethe and learn German. That's the very same way they are doing it. They're doing it online. So, I mean, what is the importance of us just preserving our languages and allowing our language to thrive?
Language first is one of the components of a culture. So if we lose language, we lose touch with culture. For example, you've talked of the issue of being punished in school for speaking, let's say, mother tongue. I'm a Kamba, and if I go to the US, I will rap in Kikamba. I am proud of who I am. Yeah. I love my language. But we have this stereotype that if my kids we have grown up in an urban setting, my kids. That's where my family is. But I teach them mother tongue. I speak to them in my mother tongue. I tell them, don't think mother tongue is superior, is inferior. So let us learn our language. So our mother tongue connects us to the values, the norms of our culture. That is why we are having kids who go home, let's say during the first season, Christmas, and then they go home and they start raising their mother tongue, their grandparents, I mean. Yeah, sure. They are speaking in English to someone who cannot decipher what they're saying. So we should connect, that we can connect with the rest of the community. We should learn, and it will also be easier to understand other concepts. When you learn your mother tongue first, you learn the other languages faster. Because
But whose responsibility is it to ensure that, you know, we are learning our mother tongue? You know, for example, like I said, I know about 3-4 people that I know personally who are now actively, just intentionally working towards learning their language. But these are people in, you know, in their late 20s, early 30s. So whose responsibility is it to ensure that as I grow up, as much as I'm learning my English, as much as I'm learning my Swahili, I'm also learning my native language? And for families who have, you know, the parents don't come from the same place, same community, how do you go about that?
Yeah, I would like to comment. It's very dehumanizing for somebody to be forced to learn in a language. And by the way, at the moment, even as we start, 40% of the children globally are taught in a language that is not their own. So even as it was that time, this trend continues. So whose responsibility? First and foremost, French, English, Kiswahili, to some extent, have gotten to where they are because they were given a chance. So we also need to give our mother tongues a chance without putting a sword on them that it won't, that's like death on arrival, death at birth. So let's give these languages a chance. The first person to give these languages a chance is policy. What is the Ministry of Education doing? Because when that child comes to school, is she or he given a chance to learn? So what is happening at that level? And we know the Kenyan policy is a child should be taught, as Dr. here has said, when a child starts learning a language that she understands, those are what we stand for even as at SIL. When he starts learning in a language that is his, that he knows, he's enjoying fun. Learning becomes fun because there's not a big difference between what he's speaking at home and what he's hearing from the teacher. But the moment you bring a new language, he has to learn the language and learn the content through which you are teaching. So the first responsibility is on policy level. The government, the Ministry of Education should streamline policies to make that possible. The other one is for the parents. We need to bequeath our languages to our children. I mean, The Germans teach their children German. The Chinese do the same. So why are we killing our language at the expense of another language? Yeah.
Very profound. And as Timothy rightfully says, language is transmitted what we call transgenerationally.
Yeah.
It is one generation that teaches the next generation language. One of the challenges we will have is if we want to limit learning of language to the formal context, we must go back to speaking our mother tongues in our houses, whereby we speak the language because children acquire language in the environment within which they function. And of course, that can be challenged on the grounds of inter-community and interlingual marriages. But now think of it in the context whereby two people from the same community are married and their children are taught Kiswahili as their first language. It will be very challenging even when they go to school, even with good policies, for them to find any value in a language that is devalued at home. So we must go back there to the place of conversing in our mother tongues, in our first languages, in our indigenous languages at home. Transgenerational transfer of language. And this is the surest way to revitalize languages more than even other interventions like writing and recording and audiovisual. If we can get Vivian to go back and speak mother tongue with our parents, with our friends, without any struggle and without any feeling of inferiority, because that's the other issue that you realize that some languages are treated as inferior, and you realize it's not all indigenous languages. Some are prestigious to some degree, but there are others whereby if you speak that, people wonder, do those people really exist? And where do you come from? So we remove the stigma that is associated with mother tongue speaking by esteeming our mother tongues at home. Thank you.
There's something you mentioned, Timothy, and you've also echoed it. We need to start with our policies, right? But I'm trying to look at it in this way. Okay, then the policies are there, and now we are, or our children are being taught a mother tongue even in school. How do we go about that, looking at a scenario where, you know, we live in urbanized areas? For example, in Nairobi, when you go to a school, any school in Nairobi, you'll find all the tribes of Kenya in one class. So how are we supposed to go about that?
Yeah, thank you. And I think this is what we said at that point when our indigenous languages were demonized, and they made us feel like these languages are not modern enough, and like they do not have the capability to be used in many domains. Unfortunately, that has still hung on, that even today we still think that they are not good enough. Maybe what I would say is, you asked the primary responsibility to teach. It starts with the parents, with the parents, because in the home domain, at home, if these people don't get it there at home, chances are very high that out there, they may not be, you know, they may not have that good exposure to learn it. So I would recommend we first have what we call language policies at home. And I've seen it work with some people that, like I have in mind a professor, he knew that if his children were to learn the mother tongue, then they have to be deliberate about it. And so they agreed with the wife that these children must learn our language. Can we make it possible? If there will be any house manager we will hire, that person should come and be properly briefed that here the language we use is this here at home. Because Kiswahili, they will pick it out there. English, they will pick it out there. So I think that has worked in Nairobi. Those children speak their mother tongue. And I think that is something that we can borrow a leaf from that. And then I can also, about marriages, mixed marriages.
Yeah.
I have also seen it work. As a matter of fact, I'm having in mind a couple. One is a German and the other one is a Rendile. And the German learned Rendile. I've visited them in their home, and the language they use there is Rendile. Why? We are trying to show that our languages are also prestigious. So if we can manage to attach prestige on them, anyone can learn it. If I'm married to a Kamba, that person can learn Gikuyu, or I can also learn Kikamba. So there is nothing to feel like when I learn your language, like I'm losing mine. No, I think, and maybe finally I can echo what Ngugi wa Thiong'o once said, that if you're only learning other people's language and you don't speak yours, that is enslavement. But if you can learn, you are able to speak your language and you learn other people's language, that is an empowerment. And I think that's what we need to tell people. I'm more empowered if I can speak all these languages. Yes.
Yeah. And maybe just to get your view on the same, okay, I've been asked to take a break, so let's take a break and then we get back to the conversation. Okay. Don't go too far.
I sign my resignation, I'll go straight to the station.
If you guys ever see her again at the hotel, give it back to her.
Why her? Say hi. This is my daughter. This is my dance club.
Why did you change your mind?
Sir, we're really sorry.
I'm talking to Philip. Stop butting in.
That's enough out of you. Tell us now. Why'd you decide to stay? Don't talk like sunshine. Why this, why that? Come on, fess up.
Ni kuspoil after job.
Sile mtaniharibu na hii kunispoil.
Nani mwingine anakuspoil after job?
Ona si wache mimi nirudi job, tutaongea baadaye.
Old friend,
wewe sio mtu mzuri.
Huyu ameambiwa nini huko ndani?
Mbona usifungue tu kaduka kako mjini? Ndio watu wa tax wakikuja niwaambie nini?
Unaweza enda mimi baki na Matilda. Na ukienda kwa Big Mama, urudi nyumbani mapema.
Mbona unapenda kuegemea upande wa Elijah na familia yake hivyo? Usiweke kitu chochote pale. Kwa sababu agreement haizungumzi hivyo. We, huyu ndio chief anajaribu kusaidia.
Sasa uko na tu pesa. Pesa ibadilishi kitu. Tuje kabla fikia.
Laona sana.
Elijah.
Mama Josh, naomba nipe dakika 2-3 kidogo na na Josh. Nikiingia huko ndani sitopata chochote.
It's new, exciting, and fun.
Nothing speaks to the heart more than good music. We are back, fresh, better than before.
And of course, bringing you great mixes, gossip, interviews from your favorite artists, both local and international.
With me, Kalondu Musimi, the baddest in the game. You better say my name, baby.
And of course, your boy, Mr. Vago Brito, the DJ.
You can only find these on
Club One Extra every Friday from 4:30 p.m.
Woo!
The wrath of Mother Nature. 10 counties are on the brink, with over 10 million people in need of food aid. Livestock is dying. and children are being driven out of schools as drought batters the nation. We go beyond the headlines with reporters on the ground in Turkana, Wajir, Tana River, and Kitui counties for an in-depth look at the evolving humanitarian, economic, and environmental impact on communities across the country. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 on Thursday, the 19th February for a comprehensive news coverage on the drought situation in the country.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let us continue with our conversation. And I had posed a question to you, Dr. Johnstone.
Yes.
Just who has that responsibility? Who bears the responsibility from your point of view?
It starts at home. That is where the smallest unit of our society, and that is where we need to start building our languages. For example, if you are in an urban setting where in a class you have all the languages represented, you will not speak Kikamba there. But in the rural settings, where a certain community dominates the population, let's teach them their language. Let schools teach their mother tongue. It's very complicated to teach mother tongue in an urban setting like in Nairobi. It's almost practically impossible. So it start at home. If you're a Kamba, teach your children Kikamba properly. If you come from the lakeside, you're a Luo, teach them their native language. If you come from the mountain like the time we're here, let them understand their mother tongue properly at home. Be their teacher, because at home, parents are the teachers. They are the disseminators of that language. So let parents take a proactive responsibility in teaching their children mother tongue.
Is there a fear of us losing our local languages? Because, you know, just from the points that all of you have given, the responsibility lies at home. We begin from home. And, you know, now we are the new mothers, the new fathers, you know, the younger generation. And some of us are the kind who say, naisikia lakini siwezi kuongea. You know, I can hear it, but I can't be able to really speak it. So, and if that is where we should start, you know, with teaching our local languages, is there a fear that maybe in some years to come, we might lose our languages completely?
Yes. The fear is real. It is happening. They say globally every day there is a statistic. Every day a language is lost. And as someone said, when you lose a language, you lose a forest. It's like losing a forest of information and of knowledge. So if nothing is done, we are losing our language. And people look at losing our language like you wake up one day, Geko is not being spoken. No, like for example, now there are many words. I asked some people who are slightly younger than me, they have lost those words. They don't know those words. So it's upon those people who are older than us to start documenting. Our languages are very beautiful. We have tongue twisters, we have proverbs that we can speak, we have sayings. Those aspects and components are getting lost because we are not practicing reading. And the language, it gets dead when there are no people speaking it who are competent in it. So for us not to lose it, we need to write it, we need to document it. Recording, we have gadgets, so that one will help and will go a long way. Yeah, but the fear is real.
Yeah, actually it is, and I've been involved a lot in research on the endangered languages of Kenya. And I can tell you the situation is a bit sad. Right now, speakers of big languages like Gikuyu, might think that their language is safe. But like you rightly observed, in our homes, especially in the urban centers, we don't see these languages being spoken. And the threat for these big languages is coming from, unfortunately, Kiswahili and English, to a small extent, English. But then we have other situations that are more desperate, the so-called small languages of Kenya. Like we are thinking about a language called El Molo. The endangerment from on that language is not coming from English or Kiswahili. It's from other stronger Kenyan languages, like we are talking about Samburu, Turkana. We have other languages in coastal Kenya. The so-called, they might look like small, but they are being threatened by other Kenyan languages. And so now the question is, what should be done? Are we supposed to let them go like that, and we leave languages to their own devices? The strong one takes the day. No. We, as a linguist, we would be very concerned because, like he rightly observed, when you lose a language, it's like you've burnt down a library. Yeah, a library has gone down. There's no way of retrieving that knowledge because our languages have some very unique, some kind of unique knowledge that is well articulated using that language. Translating will not help. So the situation is a bit serious. We are losing our languages.
Is language revival possible?
Definitely. Language revitalization is very possible. It's happening. It's not only possible, but it's happening. And I will give an example. At BTL, we work both in Kenya, Tanzania, and South Sudan. One of the countries where languages are very gravely endangered is Tanzania. And you see, when we begin the work of advocacy, the work of language development, there is an awakening in a community, and you realize everyone starts speaking out. You know, even those people who did not want to identify as part of that language community begin to speak out. Then you realize, especially with the efforts in language development, which is developing writing systems and alphabets and material starts coming out in a language, there is a kind of, we would Christianize it and say a kind of Pentecost in a community, where everybody is now alive to, this is my language, and they want to know, how did we used to say this? And just before, so that I don't lose it, on the whole issue of language death, it has been documented. In Kenya, we have already lost two. Omotic and El Molo, the last speaker, passed on. These are actual Kenyan languages.
That have been lost.
They are lost. We don't have a living speaker. And the question is, what is at stake? When we lose El Molo, what have we lost? Because when we trivialize a language to just communication, we lose so much wealth that is only transferable through that language. I would touch a few like indigenous medical knowledge. You realize there are things you only know in Gikuyu. Even Dr. Kennedy, who is a veteran linguist, we say there are things that he can only explain clearly in Gikuyu. When you speak about them in English, you realize I'm not able to get the right words.
Like you're losing.
I'm losing the weight of this whole thing. Our moral system. It is unfortunate that when we lose our language, we have to borrow a moral and a socio-cultural system. Because every language carries with it a certain code of behavior. That is why when we learn English, we learn even etiquette, even we learn even how to eat. You can imagine a Gikuyu born in Muranga has to learn to eat in class. That's what is at stake, and it's what we don't see.
All right, we have about only 3 minutes to finalize the conversation. And I know there's an event that will be coming up. If you can just speak on the event that is coming up on the same topic.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have an event this Friday. The International Mother Language Day is marked every 21st of February and has a long history from the Bangladesh, where there was a language movement. So it was recognized by UNESCO since 1999. So on 21st is Saturday. So we brought it forward to Friday. Welcome here our host, Kenyatta University, KU Amphitheater. We are going to be marking this. It will be full of, this is a day we have marked since inception, 25 years ago. This is the 26th year. And the theme this year is, as we have said, revitalizing mother tongue languages and youth at the frontier. We want to bring the youth at the front level to be able to make that happen. And there are many other activities, even as an organization. We have partners like BTL, NATCOM, NEC. There will be many things, and we welcome you. Over the past, we have made it more of academic and cultural. Fanfare or shows, but this time round we are going to have much of cultural event, and you are welcome for that event.
So everyone is welcome to attend?
Yes.
Everyone and anyone?
Everyone and anyone.
Yeah. Is there registration, or you just show up at KU?
Just show up.
Just show up at KU. All right, I will allow each one of you to give us your final remarks on maybe just how we can be able to preserve this, you know. So 30 seconds each as your final remarks. Let me begin with you, Doc.
Thank you. Let us be passionate and proactive in speaking our mother tongues, our indigenous languages. Let us not oversee the death of our mother tongues.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I would say that let's recognize that our mother tongues are an invaluable resource that we should celebrate. Yeah, speak that language and don't leave it at that.
Okay.
We have many other languages in Kenya. Try to pick even another one after you have learned your language.
Okay, thank you.
My remarks here is, in the words of Shaban Robert, titi la mama litamu hata ligawa la mbwa. Let this fire not go out in our hearts. Tukuze lugha zetu za kwanza. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. My final remarks, you are the greatest advocate of your mother tongue. Speak it and speak about it. Let people know that you're proud of your indigenous language.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that is the best way for us to finalize this conversation. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on this, and thank you for the work that you're doing in order to ensure that we are really revitalizing our indigenous languages. This is where we end Good Morning Kenya for today. On behalf of everyone who has made it a success, we wish you a lovely day to enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.
When you meet a Caleb Odiyo, you'll be amazed at how confident he is to become so competent in his pursuits because he's learned how to cope and develop his character to maximize his potential in various sports for persons living with disabilities. And that is what resilience is all about.
Basically, it's dedication and trusting in God and always keep praying and working very hard.
It was a blessing to have a supporter system right from home, which has played a big role in his development.
I got polio at the age of 4 years. When my mom realized that I couldn't walk. So I've been like that until I think class 4 when I went for an operation, at least to make my leg a bit straight. And I used the caliper, went to Joytown Primary, then I later went to Mombasa Secondary School, and later joined Kenya Polytechnic. One key thing about my life as a person with disability is my parents. They've been so vital in my upbringing. They've always supported me and made sure that my sibling supported me in my course. Even when I joined sport, to some it felt like you are wasting your time. There's no sports for person with disability. But my parents supported me all the way. Yes, so what I would like to encourage parents is just give your child an opportunity. You never know. Currently, we have professional person with disability who are doing sport. They are professional. So if they're given an opportunity, who knows, they might end up very far.
And when he watched his brother play basketball, he was inspired with the NBA adding fuel to his ambitions.
I used to like watching my brother play basketball. So one day he called me and we went and tried to shoot some hoops. And I got interested, and from there I picked it on. Till today, I'm still playing sports. I used to love watching NBA. So I felt like maybe I could play, but the fact that I had a disability, it limited me. Only for one day to later watch it on TV that there is wheelchair basketball in Kenya. And I was so interested and I joined.
Caleb is now a renowned player in the Kenya wheelchair basketball circles, which has seen him extend his talent beyond the region.
Wheelchair basketball basically has taken me to so many countries, like it was in Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, South Africa several times. Majority of the championships I have been named as one of the most valuable player in like 3 tournaments. I've been MVP in World Cup qualifiers. That was in Algeria, and I remember Kenya came 3rd position. I was in an MVP in South Africa tournament. It was African qualifiers for the World Cup, and Kenya we came 4th position. And in Algiers in 2007, we came 4th. I was also named the most valuable player in the tournament.
He's a good shooter who'll stop at nothing to give it all to realize his goals.
I'm very proud of that because we've been me and Coach Andrew and Coach Gumbi have been working out on my shooting skills, and I'm glad. Even in the recent championship, I managed to score around 20 baskets in one match, which is something very good.
And that is not all, as he has excelled in para-athletics too, notably the marathon, where he's a constant competitor in the local scene.
Last year, I won the Beyond Zero marathon. I came first. I think 2019. I finished 2nd in the Standard Chartered Marathon. Last year I finished 5th, which is sad. I'm looking forward to working on it. I have to claim my trophy. Yeah.
It's not harder to combine the 2 sports, as he's very agile and adaptive to any situation.
It's all rounds up to the physical nature of an athlete. Because you find that in wheelchair basketball and in wheelchair tennis, you get to do a lot of running around. So when you use that, you find that you can do well in marathons. Because, for example, in wheelchair tennis, we get to the court like by 10:30, and we finish around 3. All that time, it's all about chasing the ball here and there. So when you combine the hours, you put them into marathon, you see that maybe you can be somewhere in a good position.
The true sportsman hasn't limited himself to the 2 sports and also ventured into wheelchair tennis, where his skills have come in handy.
I remember the first time wheelchair tennis was introduced, There is a coach who saw me and told me that he can use my willing skills in tennis. So he gave me a racket, and that was it. We came into tennis. And I was, at some point, I was seed number 1 for Kenya for like, I think it was around 2 years. And then later, more players came in, and the competition was stiff, and they managed to overhaul my seed 1, and I accepted the challenge. But for now, I'm glad I'm back in wheelchair tennis, and I'm looking forward to giving them a challenge. Most memorable is the championship, wheelchair basketball championship in South Africa. When I got the most valuable player, I couldn't believe that I could make that big stage. And the other one is in wheelchair tennis, being the first male Kenyan to win a match in Kenya. The first match I played against an Egyptian, and I won 3 sets to 2. The match went for like 3 hours. Let me say I love sport because of one reason. There was a time when Corona came. I was seriously sick. And I went to the doctors. I remember it was here in Kenyatta. I did almost 20 tests, and all the tests came out negative. So there's one doctor who told me there's something that you're doing which is not normal. I later came to realize that I had stopped doing all sports, and I concentrated only in wheelchair basketball. So in terms of my health, it went from good to worse. So once I realized that, I had to force myself to come back into all the sports I was doing, because I remember last year, it was the first time I finished 5th in the Standard Chartered Marathon. I've been finishing from position 1 to 3, but because I decided to stop all the sports, I finished 5th. So I just decided I need to get back, I need to get my body back to shape, and here I am.
And if you think that's all, then you have no idea how far he can go with his pursuits, as he's also in the forefront of introducing wheelchair rugby too.
I registered wheelchair rugby. Basically, wheelchair rugby is centered around severe disabilities. People with disability who you will never get to see playing wheelchair basketball, wheelchair tennis, or these other events. Because majority of them are spinal case injuries and multiple disabilities, like maybe loss of arm, a leg, and either 3 or 4 kind of disabilities. So I'm trying to give an opportunity to people who are left out. Yes.
All in all, he doesn't let his tribulations and disability define him, and is more focused than ever to continue doing what he loves most.
Next is to get into shape, see where the future is taking me. But one thing that I'm not stopping now is playing wheelchair tennis and wheelchair basketball and the marathon. Yes, I'll be there.
Caleb Odio is an outstanding sportsman who has been able to overcome his disability to succeed in wheelchair basketball, tennis, and the marathon, and he still has room for more. Isn't that a blessing?
My life has been wonderful, and I thank God for everything. I can't believe I'm here today, because looking at my path, the challenges that I've gone through, I'm glad and I'm happy that I have a disability and I can walk tall with my disability.
On the sidelines, he also champions for the rights of persons living with the disabilities and looks forward to the day when all public service vehicles will be easily accessible to them.
There was one initiative that I think the guys of 145, they started to remove some seats in certain vehicles, which was a big plus. I think if NTSA would insist, first we start with the vehicles that we know, like the KBS, the City Hoppers, then I think all the other guys would catch up. In most of the PSV, you find most of the wheelchairs can't go in. So that means a person on a wheelchair has to get out or has to be carried into the bus, and maybe if his wheelchair or her wheelchair is not affordable, it means the wheelchair is being kept maybe under the boot or up there. And personally, I used to have a caliper. If you mess with my caliper, basically you're messing with my life. So I imagine a person on a wheelchair, if you put his wheelchair on top of the bus, he won't be comfortable because he's not sure if his wheelchair is safe. So if we could provide ramps and maybe make the doors a bit big for the wheelchairs to get in, it would be a big plus. Parting shot maybe is to thank you personally, KBC, for what you guys have been doing. You've been trying very much to support persons with disabilities. Even in most of your shows, I've seen presenters with disabilities, which is a big plus, and thank you for that.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Wewe, can you give me 360? Ulikuwa unakaa clown.
Mimi nilikuwa nakaa hivyo.
Watu na chesianga na watoto hivi.
Mimi nataka urudi sehemu yako ya